Chapter 4860 The arrow of fire roared and came with a vast divine power. Mo Nian gave a cold hum and was about to reach for it. He wanted to show his hand, but was held by dragon dust. Dragon dust clapped his hand at the arrow of fire. The inconspicuous flame exploded, followed by endless runes flying, just like fireworks. The runes of fire were scattered, falling in profusion and extremely beautiful. However, the strong people present were scared to scream and fled in all directions. Bang bang! Those fire runes collided with the observation platform, and the solid observation platform was punctured instantly. The huge observation platform was turned into a sea of fire in an instant. Countless strong people fled slowly, were stained by the fire, and turned into ashes in an instant. Mo Nian was shocked. He didn't expect that he had taken a look. Jiang Yizhou hit him with such terrible power. If dragon dust hadn't pulled him away, he would suffer a great loss. The rune of fire flows, and the sea of fire is endless. Soon, the Star Challenge Arena is burned up, and countless ashes are falling in all directions. The sacred and solemn sound of chanting the sutras faintly rang out between heaven and earth when the flame was burning. When the flame disappeared, the sound of chanting the sutras also disappeared. It's unexpected that you have such a deep understanding of the great Brahma Sutra at a young age. It's really rare. Jiang Yizhou looked at Long Chen, and a shock appeared on his face. Jiang Yizhou is very deep in the city. He never shows his fighting power easily, but once he makes a move, it is the most vicious and malicious move. This fire arrow seemed to be just a normal technique, but Jiang Yizhou integrated the essence of the great Brahma Sutra he had understood into it, simplified it, and hid his strongest power. This blow, not to mention Mo Nian, even the heavenly sage and the strong, will suffer a great loss. Even some people are caught off guard, and there are many people who hate the yellow spring. When Jiang Yizhou shot, Long Chen immediately realized that something was wrong. The palm he clapped was also the condensation of the power of fire and the profound blessing of the great Brahma Sutra. This was the breaking of the great Brahma Sutra with the great Brahma Sutra. Dragon Chen was also surprised. Jiang Yizhou was so insidious that he could disguise such a terrible technique. If he didn't feel amazing, Mo Nian's arm would probably be destroyed. There are too many things you can't think of. Since you are from Brahma Valley, you don't have to say much nonsense, do you? Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Today's dragon dust has become a thorn in Brahma's flesh. There is no point in saying anything now. There are so many people that we can't fight. Besides, I don't want to involve the Yuling clan. Do you have any good ideas? Long Chen preached to Mo Nian. There are ways to do this, but we can't do it here, or the whole demon-subduing city will be destroyed. Forget it, the Jianghu is dangerous. If you can't, just leave. Mo Nian felt helpless. Do you have a way to withdraw? Dragon Dust asked. That's what you have to say. You can question my fighting ability, but don't question my ability to escape. Mo Nian is very confident and authentic. Well, let's go. Dragon Dust Path. Shall we try their strength? We can kill one or two heavenly saints together. You and I fight together, escape from dozens of heavenly saints and kill one or two heavenly saints by the way. If this gets out, hee, what a sight and how arrogant it is. Mo Nian smiled. He was not willing to run like this. No, if we do it, Yulua clan leader will never stand by and watch. What will the Yuling clan do if we run away? Dragon Dust hurried. Well, you're right. Forget it. They're lucky this time. We'll deal with them when we have a chance. Mo Nian sighed helplessly and reached into his arms to touch it. At this time, Xing Wujiang came out, and he said faintly, needless to say, you people can get out of the city of subduing demons. Don't delay me to invite people to dinner. As soon as Xing Wujiang opened his mouth, everyone was surprised. No one expected that Xing Wujiang would help Long Chen. He was rude to Jiang Yizhou and others, and directly asked them to roll away. Xing Wujiang, haven't you seen the situation clearly now? You are the city master. You won't be afraid of it for a few days? Jiang Yizhou turned cold in the face of punishment. Are you the one who can't see the situation clearly? I have no children and no worries. Since the city master will be lost at any time, why don't you do something crazy? For example, while I can still control the power of Feng Tianyin, I have 16 heavenly saints buried with me. When Xing Wujiang looked at Jiang Yizhou, a look of mockery appeared at the corners of his mouth. Jiang Yizhou's face changed when he heard Xing Wujiang's words. He looked at Xing Wujiang and seemed to distinguish whether Xing Wujiang was scaring him. A moment later, he snorted coldly, "I hope you won't regret your decision." After Jiang Yizhou finished, his figure flashed, and the heavenly saints who came with him disappeared in a moment, as if they had never appeared before. Cut, just a group of lackeys who obey people's orders, dare to threaten Lao Tzu? Xing Wujiang sneered. With that, he looked at Long Chen and said, "Let's go and have dinner together." "Take me too?" Emo Nian asked. Of course, Xing Wujiang looked at Yulua clan leader and said, "I want invite Yulua clan leader. After all, what we common people eat doesn't suit the taste of the Yuling clan. You won't worry that I'm bad for Longchen." Yulua clan leader hesitated for a moment. She was really worried. Although the Yuling clan had been in the demon-subduing city for countless years, she had no contact with Xing Wujiang, and she didn't trust him very much. "Yulua clan leader, don't worry. I believe the city lord." The dragon dust falls to the rain. Although Xing Wujiang had been wearing a bamboo hat and could not see his face, Long Chen could not feel hostility from his breath. Moreover, Xing Wujiang offended Jiang Yizhou for the sake of Long Chen. Obviously, the probability of having evil thoughts about Long Chen is very small. In addition, Long Chen is full of curiosity about the city lord, because from him, Long Chen faintly feels a familiar smell. However, Long Chen could not tell what the breath was. Therefore, Long Chen wanted to know about the mysterious city lord. Seeing that Long Chen is determined to go and the rain falls, she takes Long Chen by the hand and tells him not to go out of the city. She will send someone to wait for him in front of the city master's house. When Yulua holds Long Chen's hand, the palm of Long Chen's hand warms up, and there is a rune in his palm. Obviously, Yulua Patriarch is still worried and leaves a rune for Long Chen. If there is any danger, he can inform her at any time. Long Chen was deeply moved. It was the first time that someone had been so kind to him since he entered the Emperor's heaven. Long Chen nodded cleverly, indicating that Yulua clan leader was at ease. Under the gaze of Yulua clan leader, Long Chen and Emo Nian followed Xing Wujiang's tall figure and disappeared in her eyes. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4861. Come on, two little brothers, let me give you a toast. In an exquisite courtyard, flowing water gurgles and green vines cover the sky. A dozen beautiful maids around serve food in turn. Xing Wujiang changes his previous indifference and raises a bronze wine cup. This courtyard is a hidden space surrounded by numerous barriers. Except for the waitresses serving the dishes, there are only 3 people here: Xing Wujiang, Long Chen, and Emo Nian. Thank you for your kindness. If it weren't for your help today, my brothers would be overwhelmed. We should respect you for this cup. Long Chen hurried to get up, and Emo Nian also stood up. Xing Wujiang waved his hand and said, "Sit down. If the city lord doesn't like the city lord, you have given me a bad breath today. I have to thank you. If you look up to me, call me Lao Xing or Brother Wujiang." Seeing that Xing Wujiang was so forthright, Long Chen was not polite. He directly raised his glass and said, "Brother Wujiang, this cup, we 2 brothers respect you." "Ha, good." Xing Wujiang raised his glass and drank it. Long Chen also dried up. Emo Nian took a sip and immediately coughed violently. Go. The wine. Cough. Emo Nian didn't expect that the wine was so fierce that it was like magma in his throat, choking his tears. Seeing that Emo Nian looked like this, Xing Wujiang laughed. "This wine is as strong as fire, and it goes into the throat like a knife. Although it is not very delicious, it makes people happy. Little brother, wine is like human nature. It seems that you are different from me and Long Chen. We are all reckless men, but your mind must be much more delicate than ours." Emo Nian was a little upset and said, "Brother Wujiang, do you mean I'm not straightforward enough?" "Ha, how could it be? I'm similar to Long Chen. I'm too emotional and irrational. I'm easy to make mistakes. Brother Longchen has you by his side, which can just make up for his shortcomings in this respect. The eldest brother is not very good at talking. If you feel uncomfortable, the eldest brother will punish himself and make amends for you. Xing Wujiang directly poured himself a bowl of wine and drank it. Mo Nian felt a little embarrassed. He was not really upset, but got used to it with Longchen. He spoke very casually. Seeing that Xing Wujiang punished himself with a cup, he quickly poured a cup and got bored. Obviously, he doesn't like this wine, but Mo Nian still stifles the burning in his throat and stifles the wine. Good brother, seeing Mo Nian like this, Xing Wujiang patted Mo Nian on the shoulder. Maybe it was years of loneliness. Now he suddenly had 2 more friends, which moved him very much. The most important thing is that neither Dragon Chin nor Mo Nian felt any restraint because of his accomplishments and status, nor did they keep a distance or get close to each other because of these. With the 2 people, he seemed to have returned to the era of high-spirited youth. Dry. The 3 raised their glasses at the same time, said nothing, exchanged a look, and shouted at the same time. Ha 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 ha. After drinking liquor, Xing Wujiang laughs like thunder. Happy? Painful and happy? Who invented this word? It's so appropriate. Ammoniampi Pai Mouthway. Seeing that Longchen and Xing Wujiang had a good time, they were also very strong in meditation. How could they weaken their authority? Don't say it's a strong drink. Even if it's a poison, he has to drink it with him. Seeing Mo Nian's expression, Longchen turned his eyes, looked at Mo Nian sympathetically and said, "If you can't drink it, don't drink it. Brother Wujiang and I won't blame you." "What did you say? What do you mean you can't drink?" Mo Nian was furious. Longchen hurriedly apologized. No, I was wrong. I mean, the taste of this wine is not very good. They'll change it for you." When Longchen finished, he took out a small, exquisite jar. Seeing the action of Longchen, Mo read with a twinkle of eyes, but pretended not to care about the tunnel. "Actually, whether it's hard liquor or soft liquor, I can control it. It doesn't matter whether I change the liquor or not. Brother Wujiang, you don't know. The wine in Longchen's hand is the best treasure in the world. I guarantee you haven't drunk it." When Mo Nian said this, Xing Wujiang became interested. At this time, Longchen was pouring wine for Mo Nian. Mo Nian pointed to a cup of Chinese and American wine and said, "Elder brother, this wine is golden in color and thick like honey. It is the world-famous pear blossom honey wine. It tastes fragrant and has a strong impact on the soft cotton. That feeling can't be described in words. Come on, don't deceive me. This wine has a special drinking method. First, give Brother Wujiang a sample. Dragon Dust Path." As soon as Mo Nian saw the opportunity of his performance, especially when there were dozens of beautiful waitresses around him, he suddenly came to his senses, took up his wine glass and said with a smile, "To drink this kind of wine, you should have a clear rhythm, not fast or slow. Only in this way can you realize the opposition between soft and strong. Brother Wujiang and younger brother make a fool of themselves." After Mo Nian finished, the wine cup was delivered. A glass of wine was poured into the mouth. He didn't notice the bad smile on one side of Longchen's face. Xing Wujiang watched quietly. He was a good drinker. Hearing that the wine was so magical, he couldn't help but arouse curiosity. However, when Mo Nian drank a cup of wine into his mouth, his face was wrong. His natural and calm before Mo Nian turned into surprise. When he looked at the dragon dust, his eyes would protrude. Then his face changed from white to green, from green to black, from black to red, not only his face but also his neck. Awesome! Seeing that Mo Nian's face changed, Xing Wujiang couldn't help exclaiming that he had never seen a kind of wine with this magical effect. Just as Xing Wujiang waited for Mo Nian to perform next, when he entered the throat in the second instant and the abdomen in the third instant, Mo Nian's body shook, and a terrible heat wave swept all over the world. Mo Nian suddenly grabbed Longchen's neck and shouted, "It's useless for me to trust you so much. You should deceive me." Every time Mo Nian uttered a word, a flame would burst out of his mouth. Long Chen could only turn his face away from him and not let the flame burn him. "Brother, listen to me. I may have taken the wrong wine." Long Chen smiled, but the bad smile on his face didn't look like he had taken it wrong. Xing Wujiang realized that Emo Nian had been fooled by Long Chen, and he couldn't help laughing. Even the maids around him couldn't help laughing. They couldn't imagine that Tianjiao, the lord of the city, was a pair of living treasures. Ho-hoo! Emo Nian knew that he had fallen into the trap. He breathed for more than a dozen times before the flame in his mouth disappeared. He breathed angrily and said, "Good boy, you are cruel. I remember you." "No, it's a mistake. Look, the two jars are exactly the same. I didn't pay attention to the labels." Long Chen smiled and refilled Emo Nian with wine. Emo Nian learned to be smart this time. He smelled it first and then tried it after he was sure it wasn't a pit. However, I had to admire Emo Nian's mental quality. After confirming that the wine was right, he restored his previous self-confidence and directly performed a 3 moments. When Xing Wujiang drank a glass of liquor poured by dragon dust, he was moved. "This wine comes from the Dionysian Palace? Do you know the Dionysian Palace?" Dragon Chen was also shocked. Xing Wujiang was the local strongman of Emperor Tiandi. He even knew about Jioshan Palace. Does Emperor Tiandi also have Jioshan Palace? You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Chapter 4862. Is this wine really from the Dionysus Palace? Xing Wujiang was even more shocked when he saw Long Chen's expression. Long Chen told Xing Wujiang the origin of his wine. Xing Wujiang shook his head and said, "So that's the case. The Dionysian Palace in your mouth is the inheritance of the Dionysian, and the Dionysian Palace, I said, is the real one. Bacchus Palace." Xing Wujiang told Long Chen and the two that it was rumored that the Dionysian Palace was a legacy left over from the Chaos era, and its birthplace was in Emperor Heaven. However, in the long history of the Dionysian Palace, it seems extremely bland. This inheritance, indulging in winemaking, not asking about world affairs, and the bloody battles of the past, they ignore them. As long as no one provokes them, they never interfere in the outside world. However, during the Chaos War, the Dionysian Palace, which had always been indifferent to the world, was not spared and disappeared in the long river of history. It is said that the Dionysian fell in that battle, and there will be no Dionysian in the world since then. After the Chaos War, the 9 heavens collapsed, the Emperor Heaven cut off contact with the other heavens, and the whole world was like a prison. The strong people here are faced with the invasion of various monsters every day, struggling to survive in the chaos. Although it is said that the Dionysian has fallen and the Dionysian Palace has disappeared, there were countless fine wines handed down when the Dionysian Palace was glorious. Until now, some people can drink the fine wine of the Chaos era, but these fine wines, even if they are stored in a utensil and blessed by a formation, are still difficult to resist the erosion of the years. Even if the wine has been preserved, the taste has become very light. In addition, because there are so few fine wines that have been handed down, many people are reluctant to drink it directly, but drink it after blending. Gold, and not everyone can drink it. Xing Wujiang was fortunate enough to drink it once. Although it was only a small cup, it made him drunk for 3 days. When he woke up, he still had an unforgettable aftertaste and would never forget that feeling. After drinking Long Chen's fine wine, he immediately felt a familiar atmosphere, so he thought that Long Chen had found the Dionysian inheritance of Emperor Tian. A small cup of blended wine can make you drunk for 3 days, eldest brother? How strong is this wine? Emo Nian was stunned. When I drank this glass of wine, I first entered the heavenly sage and my foundation was not stable, but after this glass of wine, when I woke up, my realm was completely stable, not to mention that I faintly touched the threshold of Huangguan. Punishment knows no bounds. Huangguan? What is that? Long Chen and Emo Nian were surprised at the same time. Xing Wujiang said, "The so-called Huangguan is the level above the heavenly sage. It is precisely because I have touched that threshold that I can stand alone in the demon city and suppress those 4 clan forces, otherwise my position would have been lost." Above heavenly sage? Long Chen and Emo Nian took a deep breath. No wonder the 4 city guards were so afraid of Xing Wujiang. Although they were both heavenly sages, Xing Wujiang's extra insight could crush them to the death. Although Long Chen and Emo Nian were curious, they didn't ask what the threshold was in the end. After all, they were still in the realm of God Venerable, and they were far from that realm. The immortal realm has 6 small realms, namely immortality, saint, saint king, human saint, earth saint, and heaven saint. These 6 small realms, especially the latter 3 realms, can be said to be difficult to reach the sky one step at a time. If you know too much and set your sights too high, you will likely make yourself restless, which is a big taboo for practitioners. Brother Wujiang, I'm very curious, those 4 families are so eyeing your position, why don't you? Emo Nian swung his palm across and looked at Xing Wujiang. Xing Wujiang shook his head and said, "These 4 forces betrayed us back then. According to my thoughts, they should have been killed a long time ago. 1 infidelity, no use for life. But even though I am the city lord, I can't move them, at least I can't move them in Demon City." "Why is that?" Long Chen was puzzled. "Do you know, why do you hide in such a hidden place when I invite you to dinner?" Xing Wujiang looked at the 2 people. Long Chen and Emo Nian opened their mouths at the same time. Obviously they had realized the seriousness of the problem. "Come on, drink one. It's been a long time since I've had a drink with someone as smart as you." Seeing that the 2 of them were clear at one point, Xing Wujiang couldn't help but marvel. The 3 picked up the glass and drank it all in one go. Xing Wujiang put down the glass and sighed. "Fang Tianyin is no longer the Fang Tianyin it used to be. It has forgotten its mission, and it has forgotten its oath. Now, I don't know if it is because of the seduction of the 4 city guards, or because it is using the 4 city guards, and it is secretly absorbing the magic energy to strengthen itself. Today, on the surface, it still keeps its promise and obeys the city lord, but in fact, it is getting out of the control of Zijin Yin, and I don't even know what it is going to do." Long Chen and Emo Nian's heart skipped a beat. If Fang Tianyin, who suppresses terrifying monsters, loses his restraints, it will not be a good thing. Is it possible that it has been enchanted? Long Chen couldn't help saying, "This is the worst guess, but it can't be ruled out." Xing Wujiang was not surprised when he heard Long Chen's guess. Obviously, he had thought about this issue for a long time. Ilgo, if it is enchanted, then the entire demon city may become its sacrifice. Emo Nian's scalp tingles for a while. When a divine soldier is enchanted, he will definitely devour his master at the first time. Only when he devours his master will he let go of all restraints and cut off all the chains that bind him. When I first came to Demon City, I felt a powerful divine sense peeping at me. At that time, I thought that I had killed too many demons, which caused the fluctuation of the demon corpse. If you say this, the peeping spiritual sense probably came from Fang Tianyin, and this time it may really be troublesome. Long Chen's face changed slightly. "You have already sensed that it has a demonic aura in its spiritual sense?" This time, Xing Wujiang's face changed. Because he lived in the demon city all year round, it was difficult to feel Fang Tianyin's changes within Fang Tianyin. "I did sense it." Long Chen nodded. Long Chen was extremely sensitive to the breath of the demons and would never admit it wrong. "I can sense the magic energy, which proves that Fang Tianyin is using the power of magic to repair his injuries. There are 2 situations. One is that it devours the power of the devil, and the other is that Xing Wujiang's face becomes serious." Long Chen said, "The other way, it may be that it has merged with the soul of the monster, otherwise, the monster and Fang Tianyin have been deadlocked for countless years. If they can be swallowed, they will be swallowed long ago, and will not appear now. This is the case." Xing Wujiang nodded and said, "This is the worst place." Having said this, Xing Wujiang said in a daze, "I think my ancestor of the Xing family, holding Fangtan, slaughtered all directions, cut off countless demons, and swept the 8 wastes. And when he came to me, Fang Tianyin was about to be enchanted. As a descendant of the Xing family, he was helpless, ashamed of his ancestors, and ashamed of the Emperor of Xia." "Wait, the Emperor of the Big Summer? The Emperor of the Big Summer, you said? But the inheritor of the Big Summer Dragon Bird?" Long Chen suddenly stood up excitedly. Chapter 4863. Seeing Long Chen so excited, Xing Wujiang also became excited. He patted his thigh and said, "It seems that you also have a relationship with Da Xiaolongke. No wonder when I saw you for the first time, there was an inexplicable intimacy." Long Chen also finally understood why Xing Wujiang could feel a strange aura. Although it was the first time they met, there was a feeling of absolute trust. "Big brother Wujiang, what is the relationship between your ancestors and the Daxia royal family?" Long Chen asked. "My ancestor is the head of the 4 great generals of the Daxia royal family," Xing Wujiang said. "It turns out that a big brother I know, he is the direct bloodline of the Daxia royal family, and he has the blessing of the Daxia dragon sparrow." Long Chen said excitedly. He thought of Xiaoguhong. Does the Daxia royal family still have the bloodline of the direct line? Xing Wujiang jumped up, grabbed Long Chen and said, "Brother, in going to visit my lord. The Xing family is the descendant of the god general of the Daxia royal family, and the Daxia royal family is their master. The Xing family is always inquiring about the whereabouts of the Daxia royal family. It is a pity that the Xing family has been searching for countless years, but there is no news. However, the efforts of the Xing family have never stopped. They firmly believe that the Daxia royal family has the blessing of the Daxia dragon sparrow and will definitely continue." Now that Xing Wujiang's eyes are red when he hears the bloodline of the Daxia royal family, that is the result of the Xing family's countless years of waiting. "Brother Wujiang, don't get excited." Long Chen hurriedly explained the things he met with Xiaoguhong, and briefly said that he learned that Xiaoguhong's beloved wife died tragically and was squeezed by all parties. "Now rush out and kill all those people. Don't worry now, brother Guhong is the blood of the Daxia royal family, and there is also the blessing of Da Xiaolongke. Now that the Emperor Heaven is open, 9 days and 10 places are ushering in great changes, and the great summer dragon sparrow should also take the opportunity to awaken. As the inheritor of Da Xiaolongke, I think brother Guhong must also take action, so we don't have to go to him, we just need to pay attention to the news of Da Xiaolongke, and we should be able to find him faster," Long Chen said. Long Chen once chatted with Chen Kuanding. The great changes in 9 days and 10 places are the best time for the supreme artifact to gradually recover. Therefore, Chen Kuanding is trying to improve itself. According to its statement, other supreme artifacts should also be the same. However, everyone is improving secretly and will not show up easily. After Long Chen explained to Xing Wujiang gradually calmed down, and he said with some annoyance, "The young master is alive, but I can't find it. If the ancestors knew about it, I would definitely blame me for being unfilial." Long Chen and Mo Nian saw the punishment boundless, so they abide by the ancestral teachings, attach great importance to love and righteousness, and can't help but admire in their hearts. Such heroes are really rare in this world. After all, countless years have passed, the years have changed, the mountains and rivers have changed, and even Fong Tianyin has been enchanted, not to mention the most variable people's hearts. However, as soon as Xing Wujiang heard Xiaoguhong, the emotion that he was willing to die for the other party was extremely shocking. The most unbearable test is the human heart. As time goes by, the mountains and rivers decay, and it is the human heart that remains unchanged. "Big brother, we are 2 brothers. I am so lucky to meet a hero like you. Come to us and toast you." Mo Nian and Long Chen raised their glasses at the same time. "My Xing Wujiang is really lucky to meet you 2 unparalleled talents at this age. Come, I am also very excited to do a punishment." The 3 wine glasses slammed together, and the 3 of them drank all at once. At the same time, he laughed arrogantly. After this conversation, the 3 of them completely put down all their guards, drank to their heart's content, and laughed wantonly. After drinking for half an hour, although Mo Nian's alcohol intake was not bad, and he didn't drink strong alcohol, he was already a little drunk. Mo Nian picked up the wine glass, and after drinking a drink with Xing Wujiang, he said sternly, "Brother Wujiang, do you know Tianmu Mountain?" Xing Wujiang said, "Tianmu Mountain? What are you talking about? The cursed mountain in the northwest of Fumo City, which is always in the dark night." Yes, that's right there." Emon Yen said. It's a cursed place, and it's also a treasure hunting place. It has something to do with my demon city. What's the matter? Xing Wujiang said. You shouldn't be, you dragged half your life to run here from there before? Long Chen couldn't help asking. It's not that bad, I lost half my life there. Emon Yen couldn't help saying. You went to Tianmu Mountain? You came back alive? Xing Wujiang looked at Emon Yen with disbelief. Then what do you mean, I'm not a living person now? Emon Yen laughed. Then you are really strong. The treasure hunt in Tianmu Mountain can only be opened once every 100 years, and every time it is opened, it needs the power of Fang Tianin to start it. What you don't know, the head of the monster we suppressed and the corpse buried in Tianmu Mountain belong to the same master, so Fang Tianin can use a bit of magic energy to open Tianmu Mountain. Now is not the time to open at all, let alone you, even if you are a Tianxing strong, you can't break through the cursed barrier. If you forcefully rush in, you will never come back. After you went in, you came back. You really strong one, even Xing Wujiang's strength, even said too strong, indicating that this guy Emon Yen is really strong. It was only then that Long Chen suddenly realized that Emotional Demon City and Tianmu Mountain were buried in two places, and the relationship between the two was somewhat close. What is strong? If you can kill 7 in and 7 out, and not a single hair falls out, then you are called strong. I threw half my life in it, and it's shameful to say it. Brother, to be honest, I went in last time, but I saw a lot of good things. Before, we didn't have that condition. Now, with the friendship of our buddies, can we go through the back door? Emon Yen said with a gloomy smile and raised his eyebrows. You mean to use Fang Tianin to open Tianmu Mountain in advance? But this requires me and the 4 city guards to agree, and then ask Fang Tianin for instructions. And now we have offended the 4 city guards. No matter what we do, they will definitely cause trouble. Xing Wujiang frowned. We still need their approval? That's the end of it. These guys hate us to the bone, and they won't agree to it if they are killed. Emon Yen said with a disappointed expression. Originally wanted to rely on relationships, take a back door, and forcefully open Tianmu Mountain so that he would not have to break through the cursed barrier, but he didn't think that he still needed the consent of the 4 major city guards. I don't think so. Just as the two were discussing, Long Chen pondered for a moment. What? Do you have any good ideas? Come and listen? Emon Yen immediately felt a play when he saw Long Chen speak. Big brother Wujiang, you don't need the consent of the 4 of them to communicate with Fang Tianin alone. My chances of success are very high. Long Chen said. Why is this? Xing Wujiang asked in confusion. If Fang Tianin is really enchanted, it may be more anxious to open Tianmu Mountain than us. Brother Wujiang, you might as well try it out. My intuition tells me that it will readily agree. Long Chen smiled slightly. Okay, they'll try it now. Xing Wujiang nodded and walked out. Chapter 4864 Xing Wujiang is also a resolute person. Halfway through the wine, he went out directly, leaving Emon Yen and Long Chen here. Tell me the truth, before you came, did you think of Big Brother Wujiang's idea? Long Chen waited for Xing Wujiang to leave, looking at Emon Yen and couldn't help saying. Hey. Emon Yen didn't say anything, just hee. After all, everyone is so familiar with it, there is no need to beat around the bush. Come on, I'll give you a toast. It's an apology for you. Emon Yen also knew that he was wrong, so he poured the wine directly to Long Chen, and didn't give Long Chen a chance to refuse, and shoved the wine glass directly into his hands. Long Chen was speechless for a while. This guy is too gloomy, even he has calculated, if not mentioning Tianmu Mountain, Long Chen still doesn't know what happened. It turned out that Emon Yen was walking around at the beginning. When he found Tianmu Mountain, he was immediately attracted. From the surrounding mountains and rivers, the curve of the water flow, and the changing trajectory of the wind and clouds, it was calculated that there must be an amazing existence buried in the ground here. Emon Yen inquired about the situation of Tianmu Mountain, and later learned that it was the treasure hunt place of Demon City. However, he was not familiar with the people of Demon City, so it was impossible to think about going through the back door, and he didn't have that much time. In addition, Emo Nien was very confident in his own skills, so he went in directly. The barrier outside could not trouble him, but he didn't expect that there was a barrier in the underground curtain, which caught him off guard. The two enchantments are connected. When Emo Nien cracked the inner barrier, the outer barrier was activated, and it was just such a mistake that almost killed Emo Nien. Emo Nien must come with Long Chen this time, and make two preparations, that is, when he cracks the inner enchantment, let Long Chen control the outer enchantment. Only in this way can he safely enter the tomb. However, this guy Emo Nien has a lot of heart, and he also thought of a problem, that is Long Chen's personal charm. He is not very convinced about other aspects of Long Chen, but for this aspect, he is full of admiration, as long as people with similar personalities to Long Chen will be attracted by Long Chen. Emo Nien wanted to use Long Chen to try and see if he could get on the line with the city owner. After all, with his and Long Chen's strength, casually showing a hand in Demon City would attract the attention of others. It's just that Mo Nien knew that he worked underground all the year round, and he was contaminated with too much death and resentment. However, Emo Nien didn't take this matter too seriously. According to his estimation, the success rate of this kind of thing is extremely low. Later, Long Chen and Yutong Yufei met, and the two were warmly invited. When Emo Nien saw that the Feather Spirit clan was so powerful, he was a little moved and wanted to ask the Feather Spirit clan for help. However, after feeling the pure and holy emotion of the Yuling clan, Emo Nien felt ashamed. How could he bear to drag these kind creatures into the water? Hasn't this become a beast of kindness and vengeance? Emo Nien also gave up this idea and felt that it is better to rely on himself for anything. However, when Xing Wujiang and Long Chen met, and they became brothers of life and death because of Xia Guhong, Emo Nien immediately hooked up the previous thoughts. There was a proposal to go through the back door. You have so many eyes. After listening to Emo Nien's thoughts, Long Chen was speechless for a while, but he was not really angry. Emo Nien spread his hands and said helplessly, "There's no way. Who doesn't want to be domineering and unparalleled? Who doesn't want to look down on the world? Who doesn't want to go all over the world with a knife in hand to make the heroes of the world bow their heads and bow down? However, you are dealing with living people, and I am dealing with dead people. Domineering and force are useless at all. If you don't have a lot of heart, can I still drink and brag with you now?" When Long Chen thought about it, it did make sense. However, after all, the road was chosen by himself, and Emo Nien had no choice. He opened the bow and did not turn back, so he could only walk with his eyes closed. Furthermore, the dead people I faced were far more terrifying than the living people you encountered, and I could blow my breath away. I'm the real dancer on the tip of the knife. If there is a slight error, my life will be lost. However, I really enjoy this kind of excitement. Do you think I am a bit perverted? Emo Nien said with some distress. Can I tell the truth? Long Chen said. Forget it, stop talking. Emo Nien knew that this guy would definitely not say good things to comfort him, and it would not be Long Chen's style to not sprinkle salt on the wound. Just as the two were talking, Xing Wujiang came back, but after returning, Xing Wujiang looked a little dignified. What? Fang Tianyin disagrees? Emo Nien asked hurriedly. No, it agreed. After Xing Wujiang sat down slowly, he shook his head and said, Then big brother, you should be happy. Emo Nien was speechless for a while. It's you who's happy, how can the big brother be happy? Long Chen's face also became serious, and Fang Tianyin agreed, which means that things may not be under Xing Wujiang's control. Long Chen asked Xing Wujiang to test Fang Tianyin. In fact, both Long Chen and Xing Wujiang hoped that Fang Tianyin would not agree from the bottom of their hearts. If Fang Tianyin disagreed, it would mean that Fang Tianyin was not deep in the devil, and there was a possibility of recovery. But if Fang Tianyin agrees, it can only mean that the current Fang Tianyin is no longer the Fang Tianyin of the past. This is undoubtedly the most cruel to Xing Wujiang. Fang Tianyin is the guardian artifact of the Xing family, it is an inheritance of magic weapons, and it is also a kind of belief. Fang Tianyin's enchantment is a collapse of belief for the Xing family. Emo Nien can't understand the pain. Just like one day, The Lingxiao Divine Sword will no longer be the magic weapon of Lingxiao Academy to suppress luck, then Lingxiao Academy will no longer be the original Lingxiao Academy. Seeing the serious faces of Long Chen and Xing Wujiang, Emo Nian didn't dare to say a word. The three of them were drinking suffocating wine, and finally Xing Wujiang broke the deadlock. Two brothers, Xing Wujiang can get to know you too in this life, and I have no regrets in this life. Come on, let's have a toast with the three of us. Big brother Wujiang? Both Long Chen and Emo Nian were taken aback. I've decided that when Fang Tianyin opens Tianmu Mountain, I will transfer everyone in the Demon City out. When Fang Tianyin's power is depleted, I will use the power of ancestral blood sacrifice to destroy Fang Tianyin with my own hands. Xing Wujiang is resolutely authentic. Long Chen and Emo Nian's hearts jumped wildly. Although they didn't know what ancestor blood sacrifice was, it was not a good thing to hear the name, and Xing Wujiang's words were more like dying words. Xing Wujiang patted Long Chen's shoulder and said apologetically, I'm sorry, two brothers, the emergency is urgent, and I can't protect the two of them. When the time comes, I will send you to Tianmu Mountain, but when you come out, you will definitely be besieged by people from Brahma Pill Valley. The meaning of Xing Wujiang, when Long Chen and Emo Nian came out, the demon city was no longer there. Long Chen and Emo Nian never thought that things would be so serious. Brother Wujiang, calm down first, is there any other way? Long Chen hurriedly said. Xing Wujiang shook his head and said, Fang Tianyin has been deeply enchanted, although he is trying his best to disguise, but my ancestral blood has already produced induction. And this induction is mutual. I know that it has been enchanted, and it also knows that I know this. Now, it is better to start first, otherwise, it will get the power of the demon corpse in Tianmu Mountain and will completely break free from the blood of its ancestors. Bound, when the time comes, it will be a catastrophe for the human race. Big brother Wujiang, if you say that, maybe I have a way. Emo Nian, who had been silent for a while, suddenly spoke up. Chapter 4865. Do you have a solution? Xing Wujiang looked at Emo Nian in disbelief. When Long Chen heard that Emo Nian said there was a way, he suddenly came to his senses. Although this guy is often unreliable, he is absolutely reliable in the face of major events. To be honest, entering Tianmu Mountain is aimed at the demon corpse. As long as I can take down the demon corpse, Fang Tianyin can't get it, isn't the problem solved? Emo Nian said. But how can you get ahead of Fang Tianyin? Xing Wujiang said solemnly. Brother Wujiang, you also said before that Fang Tianyin needs to consume a certain amount of strength to open Tianmu Mountain, causing him to be weak for a period of time, so he should not have the strength to do it right away. And the reason why I am sure is because I have seen the corpse, and there is an arrow stuck on the corpse. Fang Tianyin has been fighting against the devil's head for many years, and the power of the source has been exhausted and has become weak. Even if it is now in the devil, the combined strength of the two of them is not much. If it could collect corpses, it would have already done it by itself, so why wait for the opportunity? Therefore, based on these, I decided that when Tianmu Mountain is opened, Fang Tianyin has no ability to directly collect the demon corpse, so my chances are very high. Emo Nian said very confidently. Have you seen a demon corpse? Have you seen the arrows blessed by the imperial rune? Hearing this, Xing Wujiang said with a shocked expression. If he wasn't familiar with Emo Nian, he even thought it was a joke. When he was young, he also entered Tianmu Mountain, but even he had never seen the demon corpse, because he in the God-venerable realm couldn't get close to that forbidden place. However, after he was promoted to the immortal realm, he could no longer enter Tianmu Mountain. Therefore, the demon corpse was only an existence passed down by ancient legends. As for the imperial arrow, he had never heard of it. If I hadn't seen this, how could I have almost lost my life? Emo Nian said helplessly. Looking back on the last experience, Emo Nian still has lingering fears. The curse of the demon corpse is too powerful. He sacrificed all the anti-curse talismans and magic tools at that time, all of which were turned into decay, and the power of the curse still passed on to him. On the body, if it wasn't for those runes and magic weapons to block him, he would have been cursed to ashes. how could he still have the strength to run out to find Long Chen for help? It stands to reason that, once bitten by a snake and afraid of the rope for 10 years, Mo Nian should not attack it in a short time. But this is just as Mo Nian said, the more dangerous it is, the more he can't stop. He just wants to pursue that kind of excitement, and even he himself feels a little perverted. If what you see is true, it's incredible. An arrow can suppress demon corpses for countless years. The origin is absolutely amazing. Xing Wujiang said. So, my target is the corpse and the arrow, especially the rune on the arrow. I have checked the literature, and it is definitely the Emperor's divine rune. It's not wrong at all. Mo Nian said as he spoke. He was so excited that his eyes turned blue. Brother, you said that you have touched the threshold. Is that threshold the Imperial realm? Long Chen finally couldn't help but still asked his doubts. Xing Wujiang nodded and said, yes, but I just touched the threshold, but I couldn't see its appearance. But I can feel the majesty and grandeur of it standing in the sky. In front of it, I can't even count as an ant, at best it's just a speck of dust. It stands to reason that touching the threshold is a great pride, but I can only feel despair and powerlessness, and I even hope that I will never touch that threshold in my life. Xing Wujiang said this with a look of emotion on his face. From his eyes, he could feel the shock and powerlessness that came from the depths of his soul. Long Chen's heart was also beating wildly. He finally knew that above the heavenly sage was the Emperor realm, but as for what it was called, he didn't even know Xing Wujiang. However, this guy Mo Nian has a calm face. Obviously, he must know more than Long Chen and Xing Wujiang. This archaeologist is really not in vain. He is the only one who can make the dead speak. Long Chen thought to himself, no wonder Mo Nian is so crazy. If it is him, I am afraid it will not be much better. No one can stop this fatal temptation. Big brother Wujiang, you believe my brother once, I have the confidence to take down the corpse. After all, this time, it is not only me, but also Long Chen, absolutely foolproof. Mo Nian said. Xing Wujiang pondered silently. Even he had to be cautious about this kind of thing. If Mo Nian failed and Fang Tianin got the corpse and the demon head and demon body were resurrected, he would no longer have the power to resist. Okay, I believe you, and I'll take a gamble with you. In the end, Xing Wujiang took a deep breath and made a decision. This is an extremely difficult decision for Xing Wujiang. He is an unparalleled hero, and he has no fear of life and death. He chose to die with Fang Tianin. On the other hand, it is also the most important point, that is, in order to maintain the honor of the Xing family followed the Daxia royal family, made illustrious military exploits, and killed countless demons. They regarded honor as more important than life, and he did not want to make the ancestors shame. Looking at Long Chen and Mo Nian's confident appearance, he couldn't help but be moved. In fact, deep down in his heart, he still hoped that Fang Tianin could return to his original appearance and destroy Fang Tianin himself. It was just a helpless choice. Hearing Xing Wujiang's promise, Long Chen and Mo Nian were overjoyed, and the three continued to drink. At the same time, Long Chen and Mo Nian wanted to know more about Fang Tianin. By the way, Big Brother Wujiang said that you have no children. What's going on? Mo Nian said suddenly. Originally, this was a very private matter, and it was inconvenient to take it out and put it on the table to talk about it, but at this time there were only the three of them here, so there was nothing to be taboo about. This matter should be related to Fang Tianin? Long Chen tentatively asked. Brother Long Chen, you are so smart. Xing Wujiang didn't want to say it at first, but he was caught by Long Chen's guess, and he said it directly. The Xing family has reached the generation of Xing Wujiang, the bloodline of the direct line, the purest bloodline, and he is the only one left. If he dies one day, the ancestral blood imprint on Fang Tianyan's body will slowly disappear. When the imprint disappears, Fang Tianin will become the seal of no master, and no one can restrain it. Although there is no evidence, Xing Wujiang guessed that it must be the ghost of Fang Tianin, and the setting of the 4 city guards is also a situation arranged by Fang Tianin to restrict Xing Wujiang. If this matter is related to Fang Tianin, then I may have a solution for this matter. Long Chen pondered for a while and then said, "Real." Long Chen's words directly made Xing Wujiang jump up with excitement. Chapter 4866. Long Chen nodded and said, "If it's really what you said, big brother, it's the ghost of Fang Tian, I have a solution." "What's the solution? Can you be more specific?" At this moment, Xing Wujiang was so excited that his voice trembled. Xing Wujiang is not afraid of death, but there is one thing that makes him extremely painful, even fearful, and that is no future. As the bloodline of the Xing family, if he is cut off in his generation, then he will be a sinner of the Xing family. Even if he dies, he has no face to see the ancestors. Therefore, Long Chen said there was a way, but he couldn't suppress his inner excitement. Long Chen said, "Big brother's blood is like a rainbow, full of essence, and there is no abnormality. If you can't give birth, you must be cursed." Curse. Mo Nian and Xing Wujiang were shocked at the same time. Mo Nian said, "Brother, you read it right, I often deal with curses, how can I not sense the curse on brother Wujiang?" Long Chen shook his head and said, "This kind of curse is different from the curse in you. Yours is a direct curse, while the elder brother's should be an indirect curse. Fang Tianin was originally the inheritance artifact of the Xing family. When it was cast, it would definitely engrave the anti-return rune, so that it would one day turn back on its master. Fang Tianin cannot directly curse Big Brother Wujiang, so the curse on Big Brother Wujiang should come from the demon head suppressed by Fang Tianin. The demon head printed the curse on Fang Tianin's body, or Fang Tianin deliberately let the demon head imprint the curse on himself. As the controller of Fang Tianin, Wujiang eldest brother will be the most affected. If my guess is correct, the other palm prints, although not necessarily as serious as Big Brother Wujiang, will definitely be affected." Yes, you are so right." Xing Wujiang was so excited that he slapped his thigh, and the 4 city guards were the same as Xing Wujiang. The collateral bloodline did not have the slightest effect, but the reproduction speed of the direct bloodline was significantly slower. The simplest example is Chao Shaoqing. In Chao Shaoqing's generation, there are only 7 people in the direct line. You must know that this kind of big family can range from thousands to tens of thousands. This is why Chao Shaoqing is extremely talented and possesses various magical powers, but when he starts, he is like an idiot. In front of Long Chen, he has no power to fight back. It is because there are too few direct disciples to dare to let them take risks. If they are not careful, they will become extinct. Therefore, Long Chen killed Chao Shaoqing, and Chao Guofeng was like crazy. In fact, not only Chao Guofeng but also Zichen Zong, Huangquan Pavilion, and Tianxin Temple are not much better, but they all thought that there was a problem with the cultivation method, and they never doubted Fang Tianing. In the past, Xing Wujiang could only believe 30% of Long Chen's words at most. Now that Long Chen said this, Xing Wujiang's trust in Long Chen has risen to 90% in an instant. Long Chen is too accurate. In going, Fang Tianin is too ruthless, Mo Nian can't help but be speechless. Actually, it's normal. Think about it from another perspective. If we are always under the control of others, we have no freedom, no rights, and life and death are in the minds of others. Can we bear it? Long Chen said, "Okay, your perspective is always so novel." Mo Nian spread his hands. "You mean, you want me to cut off the connection with Fang Tianin?" Xing Wujiang suddenly changed his face. "If you let him cut off the connection with Fang Tianin, then the remaining 4 big seals will not be able to control Fang Tianin at all. Fang Tianin will be instantly freed from the bondage and will be lawless." Long Chen shook his head and said, "Removing the connection can indeed lift the curse, but how can I take this kind of bad idea out to show my ugliness?" Hearing what Long Chen said, Xing Wujiang breathed a sigh of relief. Long Chen said, "Before I entered the Emperor Heaven, I obtained a magical medicine called the Great Sun God Kuai. I go." Mo Nian and Xing Wujiang were both shocked when they mentioned the Great Sun God Kuai. Obviously, they had all heard of the Great Sun God Kuai, and Xing Wujiang was even more ecstatic. Since Xing Wujiang has been without children for many years, he has started to search the world for this legendary magic medicine. However, this Great Sun God Kuai has disappeared in Emperor Heaven, and there is not even Brahma Pill Valley. For countless years, Xing Wujiang has spent a lot of manpower and material resources seeking all kinds of pills and taking so many magical medicines, but it has no effect. But the sun god Kuei has never even seen the shadow, and now Long Chen mentions the great sun god Kuai. Xing Wujiang's eyes are full of ecstasy. The great sun god Kuai is a peerless magical medicine. Long Chen didn't think it was so magical at first. Long Chen always felt that the strongest magical medicine would only grow on the highest plane. Not much. When I came to Emperor Tian Long Chen, I found out that some magical medicines are not available in Emperor Tian, and Emperor Tian is generally not very fertile due to the restrictions of laws. At that moment, Long Chen suddenly understood that the great sun god Kuai in his hand might have to do something great. Long Chen took out an exquisite box and handed it to Xing Wujiang. Brother Wujiang, this is the Shenkuei Yentian pill that I refined. You can eat one, brother. Don't say thank you for your kindness. Before Long Chen finished speaking, Xing Wujiang took the medicine pill. Excuse me for a moment. After speaking, Xing Wujiang left just like that. Long Chen and Emo Nian looked at each other with a speechless expression. Isn't this too urgent? Emo Nian couldn't help saying. Maybe it's because you and I are underage, or something that is lost and found will be cherished very much. Long Chen spread his hands. Hey, no matter what, we helped Big Brother Wujiang, and we also helped ourselves. This time, it seems that I, Emo Nian, are going to show off my skills. Emo Nian smiled and said in high spirits. This time, you won't miss it again, Long Chen said solemnly. Last time Emo Nian was too scary. How could it be? I will never make the same mistake twice. In this way, there is no one here anyway. Let me study the treasure hunt plan with you. There are 2 treasures in Tianmu Mountain. I only had time to see one last time, but because of time constraints, I had to collect the demon corpse and the arrow of the imperial path. You go to another treasure land. I will draw you a sketch first. It is not very accurate, but it can be used as a reference. Emo Nian said as he began to draw, and at the same time explained some matters that Long Chen paid attention to. It's too complicated, I can't remember them all, otherwise I'll wait for you to finish. Let's come here to meet together. Long Chen didn't expect where Emo Nian asked him to go. It is also a large tomb. Long Chen has no experience in this area, and Long Chen doesn't like treasure hunting in this way. He knows that he is unlucky. If he doesn't find the treasure by then, and then falls into the trap of 9 deaths, it will be over. Emo Nian said, I'm afraid that the time will be too late. The key is for Brother Wujiang. I have to collect the demon corpse first. It is estimated that it will take a long time. Otherwise, you should try it first. If it doesn't work, just walk around and see if there are other treasures to dig. Anyway, once Tianmu Mountain is opened, countless forces around will flock to it. If you can't find the treasure, grab it. After my side is over, go to that place. Would you like me to collect the corpse for you? Long Chen said. What are you talking about? Emo Nian was speechless. Slip of the tongue, I mean that I will help you collect the corpse. It doesn't seem to be right. Anyway, that's what it means, you just need to understand. Long Chen said helplessly. Emo Nian shook his head and said, No, there are too many treasures in Tianmu Mountain. It is a battlefield, and I don't know how many things are buried. If you come with me, how embarrassed I am to get the baby by myself. Tell me to divide you, I feel bad. Not to divide you, it hurts again. Okay, then it is decided that one Long Chen is too lazy to calculate with him. Since this guy is sure, then he will act alone. The 2 studied properly and walked out of the city lord's mansion. As soon as they left the gate, they saw the 4 elders of the Yuling clan waiting. Long Chen and Emo Nian were both moved and embarrassed, and returned to the Yuling clan with them. 3 days later, Xing Wujiang came to visit, and when he saw the 2 of them, he was instantly in high spirits. It's all done. Chapter 4867. Today's Xing Wujiang is in high spirits, as if he suddenly became a dozen years younger. Even Yuluo was taken aback when he saw Xing Wujiang. He didn't know what happened to Xing Wujiang, and his temperament changed. Yuluo, out of courtesy, came out to receive them, settled the 3 of them in a secluded place in the clan, and left quietly. Today, Big Brother Wujiang, your heavenly court is full and the ground is round. At first glance, you have good luck, and your future is boundless. Mo Nian couldn't help joking when he saw the spirit of Xing Wujiang. Ah, my good brothers, I have good news for you. Xing Wujiang said excitedly, clenching his fists. What? Long Chen and Mo Nian were stunned at the same time. I have a future after Xing Wujiang. Xing Wujiang said excitedly. This, so fast. Long Chen and Mo Nian opened their mouths at the same time. It turned out that because of fertility problems in Emperor Heaven, there are many formations and devices related to fertility. As for the auxiliary functions of the devices, I will not go into details. The best fertile state of a person, etc. After Xing Wujiang went back, he opened Long Chen's medicinal pill, only to find that this medicinal pill turned out to be a peerless golden pill, a unique existence in this world. At that time, he was moved to tears. After swallowing the elixir, I obviously felt that I was filled with a kind of energy I had never had before, so I immediately asked my wife to have sex. 3 days have passed outside, but Xing Wujiang, who has adjusted the flow of time, has spent a month. What surprised Xing Wujiang most is that all 9 of his wives have become pregnant. At the moment of learning that he was pregnant, both Xing Wujiang and his wives were so excited that they burst into tears. They were finally no longer the sinners of the Xing family, and the blood of the Xing family could continue from now on. Their family's gratitude to Long Chen is beyond words. With such a great kindness, Xing Wujiang doesn't even know how to repay Long Chen. He came to tell Long Chen the good news as soon as he exited the customs. To share the joy in my heart. There is no way. This matter is a big secret and cannot be told to anyone, and can only be shared with Long Chen and Mo Nian. Congratulations! Long Chen and Mo Nian couldn't help but feel happy for Xing Wujiang, and the happiness in Xing Wujiang's eyes made them feel extremely warm. In addition, Fang Tianyin has also communicated with each other. 7 days later, it will be the day when Tianmu Mountain will be opened, so you must be prepared. Because every time Tianmu Mountain is opened, a vision will appear on Tianmu Mountain, which will cause a great sensation. It is impossible to keep it secret. At that time, all forces and strong people of all ethnic groups will rush in. Because of the limitation of cultivation, only the disciples of the God Venerable Realm can enter, and the Big Brother cannot protect you. You must not be careless, except in Tianmu Mountain, where there are many dangers. Monster-level geniuses of all races will also come to collect treasures, and there may even be the Son of Destiny. Speaking of the Son of Destiny, Xing Wujiang's face is serious and authentic. What is the Son of Destiny? Long Chen couldn't help asking. When he opened the Gate of 9 Heavens, he had heard of the name, and he still didn't understand what it meant. Xing Wujiang explained, the so-called Son of Destiny is the person to whom destiny returns, or when he was born, a vision descended from the sky, destiny attaches to his body, and luck attaches to his soul. He is a genius among geniuses, a monster among monsters. Either he changed his fate against the sky, and through his own power, he forcibly changed the fate of the heavens and the earth. Legend has it that the Son of Destiny is protected by the heavens and the earth, and the luck is against the sky. Although legends are often too exaggerated to be believed, they must be believed, and there is no big mistake. After all, as long as they do not fall, they will inevitably be promoted to the existence of heavenly saints. As long as you don't die, you will definitely be promoted to heavenly sage? So strong? Long Chen was shocked. Yeah, it is said that they don't even need to practice. Even if they eat and sleep all day, their cultivation is constantly growing. We usually describe who is promising, it is God who rewarded them with food, and God is chasing after feeding them, mother/dam, it is really enviable, jealous, and hateful. Mo Nian said with a sour expression. Obviously, Mo Nian knows more about this aspect than Long Chen. From the jealous expression on his face, he knows that this so-called Son of Destiny is definitely not ordinary. Mom, unless you can't meet it, if you meet it, no matter who it is, whether it's good or bad, let's beat it first, it's too annoying. Long Chen also said with an unhappy expression, thinking about himself for so many years, I have been plagued by bad luck, and I am full of fire. But be careful. Xing Wujiang knew that Long Chen and Emon Yen had amazing strength, but it was still very dangerous for the Son of Heaven, so he had to remind him again. Don't worry, eldest brother, we will be careful. Since eldest brother is here, why don't we find a place to have a drink, and it can be considered as a celebration for eldest brother? Emon Yen suggested. Xing Wujiang said a little embarrassedly, it may not work in these 2 days, I have other things. Seeing Xing Wujiang's words become coy, Long Chen and Emon Yen are a little strange. What is the situation? Why do you still have this expression? Xing Wujiang's old face was flushed, and he said bravely, your sister-in-law said that the opportunity is rare, let me work harder. Cough, you know anyway. Long Chen and Emon Yen suddenly understood that this is to plant seeds to the fullest. Although they can't feel the eagerness, they can understand it. After all, I haven't had children for so many years, and suddenly I have this ability, and I worry about losing it. I am afraid that one day in the future, if I lose this ability again, it is normal to work overtime. Xing Wujiang left with a blushing face, while Long Chen and Emon Yen adjusted their states with peace of mind in the Yuling clan. At this time, Emon Yen had fully recovered with the help of the Yuling clan tree god. However, even Emon Yen, in the face of the second challenge, had to use all his energy, did not dare to slack off, and tried his best to adjust his state to the best. In this way, little by little, the prosperous city of Demon City became more and more lively, and more geniuses flocked from all directions. Obviously, these people have smelled the treasure. As Xing Wujiang said, this kind of thing is a secret that can't be hidden. As time goes by, the huge city of subduing demons seems to be a little crowded. On this day, Long Chen and Emon Yen stopped retreating at the same time, counting the time. Tomorrow is the day when Tianmu Mountain opens, and they leave the retreat 1 day earlier. However, as soon as the two left the customs, Yutong ran over, holding a letter in his hand, looking a little embarrassed. Brother Long Chen, someone sent a letter, but that person is very fierce, and it is estimated that he has good intentions. Do you want to read this letter? Very fierce? Hey, I'm not afraid of being fierce, come and show me. Emon Yen didn't wait for Long Chen to answer, he caught the letter, and the moment Emon Yen opened the letter, boom, with a loud bang, the letter burst open, and Yutong screamed in fright. Chapter 4868. The letter burst open in Emon Yen's hands, and a blazing flame rose up. Once the stance spreads, the radius of 100 miles will be instantly burned to ashes. Insect sculpture, Emon Yen snorted coldly and grabbed his big hand sharply. The flame had just exploded a few feet, and Emon Yen's palm formed stripes of lines to trap the flame firmly. Buzz, Emon Yen's big hand exerted force. The flame shrank rapidly, and the Tao pattern was compressed into a ball the size of a pigeon's egg. Crazy, seeing this method, even Long Chen admires it. Emon Yen's move is really powerful. If it is Long Chen facing this kind of flame outbreak, he will choose to let Huolinger absorb it. If you handle it yourself, although it won't make it explode, it will definitely be a little embarrassed when you are in a hurry, and there is absolutely no such ease as Emon Yen. Sure enough, that guy is too vicious. He wants to kill people. Yutong was shocked and angry, and was afraid for a while. Fortunately, she was not curious to open it in advance, otherwise, with her strength, this letter would kill her. Such a naive challenge letter, very good. He successfully provoked the anger of Mo Yi, not bad, worthy of praise. Emon Yen weighed the sealed flame ball in his hand with a sneer on his face. Typical. What's the name of the person delivering the letter? Long Chen looked at Yutong. He called himself Chao Yuyang and said nothing else. Yutong said, "What is that?" Emon Yen couldn't help frowning. At this moment, a voice came. That Chao Yuyang is the youngest son of Chao Gufeng. He has a good talent since he was a child. He was sent to the Brahma Pill Valley through management, but because of his talent, the fire of his life has no vitality. Unable to make alchemy, it was thrown back. Boundless brother, Long Chen and Emon Yen looked at the reputation, and it turned out to be Xing Wujiang. At this time, Xing Wujiang was full of energy and full of energy. Maybe it was a happy event, giving people a radiant feeling, temperament, and the same as before. Completely different. Since it's a return, he dares to challenge us? Where did he get so much courage? Emo Nian was a little puzzled. After all, Chao Shaoqing was just killed by Long Chen. Does Chao Guofeng plan to pay for his son? Xing Wujiang said with a smile. After this, Chao Yuyang was returned by Brahma Pill Valley. Chao Guofeng continued to beg his grandfather to tell his grandmother, and sent Chao Yuyang into the Fire God Temple through some means. It has to be said that Chao Guofeng still has some means, but Chao Yuyang is quite competitive and has taken root in the Fire Temple. Although it didn't make a name for it, after all, being able to stay in the Fire God Temple is not a general generation. I have seen that kid before. Although I don't know how strong he is now, but with his talent he can't compare with you at all. The reason why he came to challenge him must be someone who supported him. Fire Temple? Long Chen and Emo Nian thought of this name at the same time. Xing Wujiang said, "It should be, this time Tianmu Mountain opens, and the Fire God Temple also has disciples to participate, but what is the specific level? I didn't ask because I was too busy. However, with the resentment of the Chao family towards you, they will definitely spare no effort to fan the flames. They want to use Chao Yuyang to thread the needle and let you directly face the arrogance of the Fire Temple. Obviously, the Chao family hates you to the bone, and even some can't wait for Jiang Yizhou and others to take action, and want you to die directly in Tianmu Mountain." After Xing Wujiang said this, Long Chen suddenly realized, but the method of the Chao family seems to be a bit funny. He already has an inseparable hatred with the Fire God Temple and Brahma Pill Valley, and he still needs him to provoke? Big brother Wujiang, when you come here, is there anything to take care of us? Emo Nian asked. I came here to tell you that, according to secret information, this time Tianmu Mountain has opened, and Tianjiao at the level of the Son of Destiny has come. But it is not clear which force and race it came from. I am afraid that you will suffer, so I will tell you in advance. In addition, there is a lot of arrogance in the Demon City. I think you two can go out for a walk. Big brother has nothing to help you, but in the Demon City, after all, we have the final say. You are right. Xing Wujiang laughed. Long Chen and Emo Nian laughed immediately. Xing Wujiang knew that Long Chen and Emo Nian had been staying in the Yuling clan. On the one hand, it was for retreat, and another important reason was that they did not want to cause trouble to Xing Wujiang. After all, this is Fumo City, and Xing Wujiang is the city owner. If something happens in Fumo City, they are afraid that Xing Wujiang's face will not look good. Xing Wujiang has been busy to death recently, and he has never cared about the two of them. He feels very guilty in his heart. Now all the arrogance of Tian have gathered to subdue the Demon City, and all kinds of opportunities and resources have followed. This is a big opportunity for anyone in Fumo City. Xing Wujiang doesn't want Long Chen and the two of them. Because of him, he missed the opportunity, so come and say hello. After all, as the city lord, if he can't let the two brothers be free on his own 1/3 of an acre, then he is too useless as the city lord. Hey, I'm relieved to hear what you said, eldest brother. Just in time, I'm planning to buy something. Emo Nian smiled. Okay, then you can be busy first. Mention my name if something happens. Don't dare to say anything else. Before you tear your face with Fong Tianyin, as long as I am here, you can walk sideways in the city. Xing Wujiang patted his chest. If it was before, Xing Wujiang would never say such arrogant words. After all, at that age, it is difficult for young people to be arrogant and domineering. But with Long Chen and Emo Nian, he seems to have returned to his youth, and the feeling that everything is under control has returned. After Xing Wujiang left, Long Chen and Emo Nian tidied up a little and said hello to Patriarch Yulua, but Patriarch Yulua was still a little worried. Because the demon-subduing city is now mixed with dragons and snakes, and the 4 major city guards have their own ghosts. Although there is a guarantee that punishment is boundless, Yulua still feels that it is not safe enough. The Yuling clan agrees with Long Chen and can go through fire and water for it, but in fact the Yuling clan never trusts anyone easily. Long Chen took a lot of effort to convince Yulua not to let her follow, nor to let the 4 elders escort. However, Yuluo still asked Long Chen to bring sisters Yutong and Yufei, because in case of any danger, Yuluo would determine their location as soon as possible. Of course, Long Chen would not refuse this proposal from the patriarch Yuluo. The two sisters, Yutong and Yufei, are well-behaved and sensible, and they are also peers. The four of them walked out of the Yuling clan together. When they just walked out of the gate of the Yuling clan, Long Chen felt dozens of spiritual thoughts and swept over them recklessly. Shit, it's time to teach them a lesson. Mo Nian's face sank. These guys are as annoying as flies, and his fire can't be suppressed. Chapter 4869. Long Chen and Mo Nian ignored those spiritual thoughts. Although Xing Wujiang told them that they could walk sideways in the Demon City, it could not be said that if someone looked at them, they would be beaten up, which was inappropriate. Mainly because Mo Nian still had business affairs, there was not so much time delay. After leaving the Yuling clan, the four of them immediately took the teleportation formation and headed to Xiqing. Xiqing is the control area of Jagged Sect. It is not that Mo Nian deliberately picks things up, but that there is a market in Xiqing now, which is their destination. It stands to reason that it might sound awkward to build a market in Demon City, but it is indeed a market. In fact, this market has 2 blocks in the east, west, north and south. However, it is usually an open space of tens of thousands of miles, and even birds are unwilling to stay here. To put it bluntly, it is a wasteland. But every time Tianmu Mountain opens, this market will become lively in an instant. Even though the market is tens of thousands of miles in radius, once Tianmu Mountain opens, it will be filled with various stalls. Pedestrians are even more crowded with their front feet on their backs, and although the stalls here can only be set up for a few days, the stall fees are surprisingly expensive, but even so, there are still countless people who can't grab the stalls and can only set up stalls outside the city. If you set up a stall outside the city, you do not need to pay the stall fee, but the transaction is also not guaranteed. If you buy fake goods, you will be unlucky. If you are cheated, you will buy a lesson. Even if you are robbed, you can only solve it yourself. Therefore, few people go out to trade outside the city, and they are basically concentrated in the city, and the stall fees of those stall owners are handed over to the city guard of that area in which area. According to the rules of Demon City, the city guards own 70% of the money received, and the remaining 30%, and the other 3 are equally divided, and there is no need to pay taxes to the city owner. Therefore, every time it is their turn at the market, whoever will make a lot of money, but the 4 major cities are guarding the market, and they all have their own fixed booths, and the locations are all the best. They can also run their own stalls, and if they don't set up their own stalls, they can also rent them out and earn a certain amount of rent. No matter how noble or mysterious they are described in the world of practice, many essential things remain unchanged. Money, whether in the mundane world or in the world of immortals and demons, is an inseparable theme. The greater the power, the more money is needed. If Long Chen was not able to concoct pills because of the chaos space, he would not be able to afford such a large expenditure of the Dragon Blood Legion. Although Mo Nian and Guoran's careers are very lucrative, in order not to delay their cultivation and improve the strength of the Dragon Blood Legion, they basically use their own production and sales. When the 4 of Long Chen and Mo Nian came to the market, there were not as many people as the previous 2 days. In fact, this was also deliberately done by Mo Nian. Because Tianmu Mountain will open tomorrow, many people should buy good things. They have already bought them, otherwise they will not be able to improve their status with peace of mind. Nowadays, people who come to the market at this time are basically wandering around to see if there is anything that needs to be added, or to see if there is any leakage to pick up. As soon as Long Chen and others came in, someone shouted loudly at the door, "How many? Are you going to Tianmu Mountain? Hey, you are really here. I have a lot of secrets here. All of them are translated magic. I guarantee you if you can master it quickly, you can practice on the same day, meet on the same day, and you will be able to show your skills in Tianmu Mountain tomorrow." Not to mention Long Chen, even the 2 sisters Yutong and Yufei were speechless for a while. What can be learned so quickly? Can it still be called magic? Isn't this fooling idiots? But seeing that person shouting so diligently, It is obvious that someone must have been fooled, otherwise this kind of person should have become extinct long ago. The four of them entered the market, did not stop at the periphery, and went straight to the middle area. This market is different from the ordinary market, and the gold stalls are all in the middle. Although they know that the stalls in the middle are expensive, the merchants are not fools and must have grafted the rent on the buyers. But those who can set up stalls in this position are all powerful people, and their treasures are of higher quality and more tricks. Emo Nien came to a booth, and Long Chen saw that there were many strange ores here, as well as some strange bottles, each of which had a drop of blood flowing. Emo Nien came here and stopped immediately. Long Chen couldn't help but stunned. You actually understand the inscriptions? Although Long Chen is not an inscription master, he has seen Xia Chen use these things and knows that these are precious materials for inscriptions. Not to mention those ores, just in those bottles, there are several kinds of shocking fluctuations and powerful pressures, making Long Chen feel breathless. Obviously, it is the blood of the heavenly saints. Xing Wujiang is right. Every time the opening of Tianmu Mountain will bring huge opportunities. In the market, you can see all kinds of treasures. Hey, in our line of work, you have to know everything. Emo Nien smiled and began to choose various things. This guy Emo Nien didn't ask the price. He directly asked some very professional questions, and even said some terms that Long Chen had never heard before. The receptionist saw Emo Nien's choice directly, and didn't ask the price, thinking that he had met a local tyrant. But when Emo Nien's words were so professional, he immediately knew that he had met an expert. In the end, Emo Nien chose dozens of items, and after some bargaining he directly paid 30 million Chaos Spirit Stones. I have to say, this guy Emo Nien is too rich. That is 30 million top-quality Chaotic Spirit Stones. Emo Nien goes out and blinks his eyes. When the two passed by an jewelry stall, Emo Nien directly spent 100,000 top-quality Chaos Spirit Stones to buy a bracelet for each of Yutong and Yufei's sisters. That bracelet is a spiritual tool, which can be turned into a weapon or armor. It is similar to Bai Shaole's spiritual tool, but its quality is much worse than Bai Shaole's. However, according to the owner of the booth, all the good spiritual artifacts have been sold out, and there are only 2 pieces left, and they are not willing to pay back a penny. Obviously, they are not worried about selling them at all. The 2 sisters Yutong Yufei have never seen a magic weapon and have no idea about money, but the 2 weapons can keep changing their shapes, which makes them very happy. After getting the bracelet, they have a great time playing, even forgot to thank Emo Nien. Emo Nien didn't care either. After coming to the immortal realm for so long, he felt the warmth of family affection for the first time in the Yuling clan. In his heart, he had long regarded them as his own sisters. Emo Nien went all the way forward and kept buying all kinds of things, all kinds of strange things, even the shrouds, the antiques like foot basins. He bought them directly. Those things Long Chen really couldn't see anything strange. When Long Chen passed a booth, suddenly Long Chen moved in his heart and stopped. He saw a strange stone. When he saw the appearance of the stone, Long Chen couldn't help but be shocked. This is the power of the stars. Chapter 4870. Long Chen's heart was beating wildly. This seemingly ordinary stone actually contained the power of stars, but it can be placed here, which proves that it is definitely not ordinary. While Emo Nien was picking something from the booth next door, Long Chen came to the booth and glanced at it roughly. This booth was much larger than the other booths, and there was only one person in the entire booth, busy with his work. It was a rickety old man. He was not tall at first. He was sitting there like a child. He kept wiping the fist-sized purple crystals with a towel. "Senior, are you making a lot of money?" Long Chen looked at the pile of purple crystals in the old man's bamboo basket and couldn't help being surprised. That is Chaos Amethyst, the hardest currency that Long Chen knows. Chaos Amethyst contains innate essence, and each Chaos Amethyst contains a trace of Hongmeng Purple Qi. This Hongmeng Purple Air is said to be the innate energy formed at the beginning of the birth of heaven and earth, and this trace of Hongmeng Purple Air is the most important thing for the Earth Sage to advance to the Heavenly Sage. The most precious thing about Chaotic Amethyst is that it grew up with the heaven and earth at the beginning of its formation. It is an innate spirit stone, and unlike other spirit stones, it cannot be generated. In other words, there are many chaotic amethysts between heaven and earth, and the value of a chaotic amethyst is equivalent to 10 million top-quality chaotic spirit stones. But this is just a simple price estimate. In fact, very few people use chaos amethyst in exchange for top-quality spirit stones, because this chaos amethyst is too precious. Once it is exchanged, it is difficult to exchange it back. And there were dozens of chaotic amethysts in the old man's bamboo basket, so Long Chen couldn't help but startled. With a touch of indifference, he said lightly, "What do you earn? Does your family have no cost to do business? Don't you need money for the booth fee? Okay, don't talk nonsense, just take what you fancy, there is a price on it, and there will be no counteroffer." The old man's voice is indifferent, he looks arrogant and tight, and he looks like he is too lazy to take care of people. Maybe it is because he has made too much money and is too lazy to work anymore, and he has the attitude of closing the stall in advance. Long Chen looked at the stone and found that there was indeed a label next to the stone, but when he saw the price on the label he couldn't help but take a breath. 3 million? Long Chen was speechless for a while, just such a broken stone, it was priced at 3 million, why not grab it? Can you take it over and take a look? Long Chen asked. Okay, look at it once, 1 million. The old man said without raising his head and eyes. Long Chen is so angry that he wants to scold people. You are such a money fan, you will be charged if you look at it, what if it is fake? What's going on? At this moment, Emon Yen and Yutong Yufei came over and couldn't help asking. It's okay, let's go. Looking ahead, Long Chen shook his head. When Emon Yen saw that Long Chen had seen the stone, he couldn't help but become curious, and he stepped forward to look at it, and suddenly the old man said coldly, "Just look. Don't get so close." You old man, did I give you a face? Look at what this is. Emon Yen stared, purple light suddenly appeared in his hand, and there was an extra chaotic amethyst in his hand. When the old man saw the chaotic amethyst in Emon Yen's hand, his pupils shrank slightly. Although he tried his best to hide his emotions, Long Chen clearly felt a little panic in him. This little friend, although you are rich, the old man is not greedy for you. Please speak with respect. Although the old man's tone was indifferent, he obviously lacked confidence. I'm too lazy to dismantle you, you're still kicking your nose and face. I tell you, the city owner is my eldest brother, believe it or not I lifted your stall? Emon Yen snorted coldly. Hearing Emon Yen's tone, Long Chen suddenly realized that he was fooled by his feelings. This is an old fox, and the chaotic amethysts in his frame are probably fake. It is a pity that Long Chen has only heard of chaos amethyst, but he has never seen it before. When the old man saw that many people around were attracted by the voice here, he became a little nervous. He stopped wiping the amethyst and quickly put it away with a smile on his face. Little brother, don't be angry, isn't this also a way of doing business? Just take it and see what you like. It'll give you a satisfactory price, don't you think? The speed of this old man's face changing is astonishingly fast. He was extremely arrogant a moment ago. Now that his smiling face is welcoming, Long Chen can't help but smile bitterly. He still lacks a lot of experience. Long Chen didn't speak and directly picked up the stone. The stone was not big, only about a square foot, but it was surprisingly heavy. When Long Chen picked up the stone with one hand, the old man's pupils shrank suddenly. He knew this stone very well. If it was him, he couldn't hold it without accumulating energy. At this time, he finally realized that he had gotten into a terrifying character, and he was a lot more honest. He pointed to a palm print on the stone and said, "This is a terrifying powerhouse." It was shot with one palm. You can see the irregular shapes around it and the droplet-shaped particles. This means that under the palm of one hand, a terrifying force blew up a mountain-like boulder. This part that can stay is definitely the essence of the essence. Although I am a strong earth sage, I have tried to open it several times and have never been able to do it. Let me tell you, this is definitely a treasure. If it is used to forge weapons, it is very likely to forge the existence of the heavenly holy soldier. In fact, my price is not completely unreasonable. A boulder like a high mountain? How high is the mountain? Long Chen disdainfully said, "This guy can quite imagine. It should be very high." The old man no longer had the arrogance he had before, and said with a smile. When the stone started, Long Chen did sense the fluctuation of the power of the stars, but after getting it in his hand, looking at the lines on the stone, he couldn't help but look at the old man and said, "You are really superfluous." The old man was suddenly embarrassed. In fact, he also discovered that there was the power of the stars on the stone, but the power of the stars was too weak. Let people discover. And this small action has already made countless people fooled, and he has earned a lot of viewing fees, so he has the rule of spending money to watch it again. To put it bluntly, it is fooling people. No, the power of the stars is not on the surface of this stone. Long Chen suddenly moved in his heart. He stretched out his big hand and slowly pressed the handprint on the stone, and at that moment, the star C in his dantian seemed to be pulled and trembled in an instant. Oh my God, this is... At that moment, Long Chen's heart was beating wildly. Long Chen, you finally came out of the turtle shell. At this moment, a sharp voice came over, and then a group of people surrounded Long Chen and others. Chapter 4871. There were 9 people in total, all dressed in Chinese attire, with flame patterns printed on their clothes, which was the unique mark of the fire temple. However, their clothes were different from those of Jiang Yizhou and others, and they did not depict runes. The 9 people are all powerful 9 stars of destiny. As soon as they appear, the space is slightly distorted, and the heat waves burst, making people feel like they are in a furnace. The leader, with fair skin, full of arrogance, carrying a long sword, swayed towards Long Chen with a gloomy face. "Long Chen, I thought you would never shrink back, but I didn't expect you to have the courage to come to my Chao family's territory. You are not small." Originally, all of Long Chen's thoughts were on the stone, but when these 9 people appeared, a look of surprise appeared on Long Chen's face, and he pushed the stone in his hand to the stall owner. The stall owner looked at the posture, and suddenly felt a little bad, and hurriedly stepped back a few steps. He didn't know Long Chen and Emon Yen, but he recognized the costumes of the Fire God Temple. "You are the Chao Yuyang who issued the challenge book?" Long Chen asked. The man laughed and said, "You received the challenge letter? How does it feel?" "In fact, the challenge letter is for my family. The rest is not important. Answer me, is your name Chao Yuyang? Did you send the war book?" Long Chen interrupted him impatiently. "That's right, I'm Chao Yuyang, and I ordered the war book for my young master." The man said proudly he was Chao Gufeng's youngest son, Chao Yuyang. "That's right?" Long Chen looked at Emon Yen. "Then what are you waiting for?" Emon Yen responded. Snapped, Long Chen suddenly shot like lightning and slapped Chao Yuyang's face. Chao Yuyang couldn't react at such a close distance. The most important thing is that the entire demon city is a forbidden area. Even if he is the son of the city guard, he must follow this rule, but he did not expect that Long Chen would actually do it directly. This slap passed. Chao Yuyang was directly stunned, but Long Chen's strength was not large, and he was afraid that a slap would slap him to death. Pinch Chao Yuyang's chin with one hand and pull it down. Click! Chao Yuyang's jaw was dislocated, and his mouth opened instantly. "Take it lightly. If you try harder, his jaw will be pulled off by you," Emon Yen complained, reaching out and stuffing a ball into Chao Yuyang's mouth. When she saw the ball that Emon Yen stuffed into Chao Yuyang's mouth, Yu Tongyu covered her cherry lips with her hand. The ball she had seen before was exactly the ball that Emon Yen compressed the endless flames into. Snapped, Long Chen closed Chao Yuyang's mouth. Emon Yen took out a rune and sealed Chao Yuyang's mouth. The rune melted in an instant, forming a seal character. Then Long Chen and Emon Yen pulled the 2 sisters Yutong and Yufei to hide aside, covering their ears with their hands, and said the countdown at the same time, 3, 2. Chao Yuyang was stunned by Long Chen's slap, and when he woke up, the 2 of them had completed all the cooperation skillfully, and the disciples of the Fire God Temple who followed Chao Yuyang had weapons in their hands, but they didn't know whether to kill or save. People. 1. Boom! With a loud bang, Chao Yang's head exploded, blood spattered in the sky, and the disciples of the fire temple around him were smashed with blood, and everyone was stunned. Originally, Chao Yuyang and the others were coming in fiercely, and countless powerhouses focused their attention on this side, wanting to see what the contradiction between the two sides was. Unexpectedly, without saying a word, Long Chen and Emo Nian suddenly acted and killed Chao Yuyang directly. The two not only acted in the demon city, but also killed the son of Lord Qingshou. Going, this cannonball is really loud. Only then did Emo Nian and Long Chen put down their hands covering their ears, and at this moment, Chao Yuyang's body slowly fell down with a pop sound, stirring up a small stream of dust. You will end up harming yourself. If you are not so vicious and have the flame of your soul attached to the flame, you will only be injured but not die. Long Chen looked at Chao Yuyang's corpse and spread his hands helplessly. In fact, Long Chen didn't expect Chao Yuyang to die, and he didn't know that the flame of the soul was attached to the flame because it was sealed by Emo Nian, and the two of them were just doing their own thing in their own way. A disciple of the fire temple roared, "Those who dare to kill my fire temple!" Puff, puff, puff. Shenhui flashed, and 8 heads rose into the sky. Emo Nian waved his arm, and he seemed to be holding a strange weapon. The weapon was fleeting, and even Long Chen couldn't see what it was. "Since you are so angry, why don't you go down with him?" Emo Nian said lightly. Everyone was stunned. They looked at Long Chen and Emo Nian like monsters, and even Yu Tong and Yu Fei were frightened. They usually saw Emo Nian smiling all the time, as if he would never be angry in his life, but they never thought that he would be so ruthless, killing so many people without blinking an eye. "Boss, how much is your stone?" Long Chen waved his hand, pushed the surrounding blood away, and turned his head to look at the stall owner. At this time, the 8 heads and 8 headless corpses were both lying behind Long Chen. At this time, the stall owner, his face turned green with fright. No money, he'll send it to you directly." The stall owner's voice was trembling, and he threw the stone to Long Chen, waved his hand, took away all the things on the stall, and turned around to fly. Generally escaped. The money is to be collected, and I, Long Chen, are not robbers. Long Chen took the stone, waved his hand, and a small bag flew out, instantly reaching the old man's side. The old man reached out and grabbed it. Without checking how much or thanking him, he disappeared in a blink of an eye. When Long Chen looked back at the other stalls, seeing that the other stall owners were all the same, they all started to close the stalls. Long Chen hurriedly shouted, "Hey, everyone, don't be nervous. Don't close the stall, we still have to buy something. Dare to kill my son, take your life." At this moment, a roar of killing intent came, and Chao Guofeng, like a violent lion, descended from the sky, holding a blood-colored giant sword, and slashed at Long Chen. Boom! However, just after he appeared, a tall figure blocked his way, punched his giant sword, and with a loud bang, Chao Guofeng spit out blood and flew out. The lord of the city, when they saw that tall figure, countless people exclaimed. They couldn't believe that the city lord Xing Wujiang would actually take action to protect Long Chen and others. "Xing Wujiang, you shielded Long Chen so much, I fought with you." Chao Guofeng lost his beloved son in pain, and he looked like a madman. Seeing that the punishment was boundless and blocking the road, under his ferocious face, his whole bodice blood was burning, and the raging flames entangled him. Chao Guofeng is going to burn all the jade and stone. Someone exclaimed, Chao Guofeng is burning blood and essence to improve his strength. Using this trick at his age is too expensive. With my Xing Wujiang, no one can hurt my 2 brothers. You are not my opponent. I advise you to endure it. Facing Chao Guofeng, who was burning blood, Xing Wujiang stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "Then shall we join in?" At this moment, 3 voices came at the same time, and at that moment, the entire demon city trembled. Are the 4 city guards going to deal with the city master together? The powerhouses in demon city were stunned by the sudden change. Chapter 4872. The 4 city guards attacked Xing Wujiang at the same time. The 4 people surrounded Xing Wujiang from 4 directions. For a while, The murderous aura was roaring, and the whole city was shaking. "Oh my God, the demon city is about to change," people exclaimed. As the city lord, Xing Wujiang keeps breaking the rules of the city of subduing demons. "Today you must abdicate and let the sages." Zi Chenzong's Gao Jian pointed away from the long sword Xing Wujiang and shouted coldly. The person who lost even the last half of his face seems to have a lot more courage than before. "If the four of you don't agree, just do it." Facing the siege of the four powerhouses, Xing Wujiang said with disdain. At this time, Xing Wujiang was alone, but he was full of pressure and pride. He didn't even use weapons. Buzz, suddenly, Gao Jianli waved his big hand, and a large golden seal flew into the sky. At the same time, Chao Guofeng, the master of the Tianxin Palace and the master of Huangquan Pavilion, also sacrificed their own golden seals. The 4 golden seals were divided into 4 directions, south, south, northwest, and appeared in the sky above the Demon City. Boom! All the gates of Demon City were closed for the first time, and the light curtains shrouded Demon City. This huge city could not enter or leave at this time, and was completely blocked. For a time, countless people panicked. "Xing Wujiang, have you seen it? You don't need your main seal, we can still control the Demon City. You, the city lord, already have an empty seat." Chao Guofeng gritted his teeth. Originally, to open or close the Demon City, 4 golden seals and 1 main seal need to be opened at the same time. If there are special circumstances, the 3 large seals can also be opened, but among the 3 large seals, there must be a main seal. But today is different. There is no need for Xing Wujiang to participate at all. The 4 of them can directly order Fang Tianyin to close the Demon City. This further proves that the power of the main seal has been weakened too much. "Xing Wujiang, hand over the Zijin main seal, and we can spare your life on the basis of many years of love." Gao Jianli coldly shouted. For a time, the hundreds of millions of powerhouses in the entire Demon City were trembling with fear. Now they have no way to escape, so they can only watch the battle of the city masters quietly. What they are most afraid of is that if Xing Wujiang is provoked, a jade and stone will be burned, and they don't know if the whole city of demons will be dragged and buried. Xing Wujiang always had a smile on his face in the face of the change in front of him. It seemed that everything was within his expectations. Facing the provocation of the 4, instead of being angry, he had a kind of pity from the bottom of his heart. "Why are you laughing?" The pavilion master of Tianxin Pavilion looked at Xing Wujiang. She was laughed so hard that she couldn't help shouting sharply. "He laughs at you that you look like a ghost, and even delusionally wants to be the city owner." Just as Xing Wujiang was about to speak, Emo Nian in the city below couldn't help but interject. I have to say that Emo Nian's mouth is very bad. He knows that Tianxin Pavilion's pavilion is the most taboo for others to talk about her appearance. Otherwise, she would not have been so jealous of Yulua Patriarch. When Emo Nian spoke, the pavilion master of Tianxin Pavilion was trembling with anger. Her face was twisted like panties, and she screamed, "Idiots of the Fire Temple, when will you wait until you start? You're an idiot, your whole family is an idiot, you ugly, old, short-lived, dead old woman." As soon as the voice of the pavilion master of Tianxin Pavilion fell, there was an angry shouting and scolding from the void, and a group of figures appeared. It was the strong man of the Fire Temple led by Jiang Yizhou who appeared. Their faces were full of anger. It turned out that in order to kill Long Chen, they never left the Demon City. Under Chao Yuyang's threatening, they avoided the surveillance of the main seal and sneaked into the Demon City. Originally, they all planned, let Jiang Yuyang be the lead, and lead Long Chen out. Jiang Yizhou and others were responsible for capturing Long Chen. If Xing Wujiang took action, there would be 4 people to contain him. The reason why Jiang Yizhou is afraid of Xing Wujiang is on the one hand because of his strong strength, he does not want to fight Xing Wujiang head-on. On the other hand, it is also what he is most afraid of, that is, if Xing Wujiang is in a hurry, and he uses Fang Tianyin's power, he has absolutely no chance of winning. The situation has evolved to this stage, and I don't know whether it was Long Chen's sudden transfer, or Chao Yuyang's bad luck. Chao Guofeng and others only made a preliminary plan at the beginning, and Chao Yuyang was also present. When the details were formulated, Chao Yuyang was not present, but at this moment, the news of Long Chen and Emo Nian's appearance reached Chao Yuyang's ears. Chao Yuyang immediately acted according to the plan, but as soon as he came forward, Long Chen and Emo Nian took it easy. He didn't even have a chance to show his strength, so he took the lunch directly. It is estimated that Chao Yuyang was crying on Huangquan Road at this time. According to the plan, the moment Long Chen shot, a master shot and took down Long Chen. As long as Long Chen does it, the masters of the 4 major cities will have a reason to make a move. Once they make a move, they will surely disturb Xing Wujiang, and as soon as Xing Wujiang appears, the 4 powerhouses can block him, thus making big fish and small fish catch together. However, Chao Yuyang did not know that his father and other experts were still deciphering details, researching loopholes, and trying to be foolproof. When they finalized the details, Chao Yuyang, the bait, had already been killed. At that moment, Chao Guofeng was about to go crazy and killed him immediately. At this time, the 4 city guards and Xing Wujiang have completely torn their faces, but according to the plan, the people of the Fire Temple have been slow to capture Long Chen. You must know that as long as Jiang Yizhou and others make a move, Xing Wujiang will inevitably come to the rescue. In this way, they can find the gap and gain the upper hand. Although there are 4 of them, Xing Wujiang's prestige is too high, they dare not make a move rashly, and they are all waiting for the best time to make a move, and the master of the Fire Temple has been slow to show up, and Xing Wujiang looks like he is in control. Make them extremely anxious. But Emo Nian spoke out and insulted the pavilion master of Tianxin Pavilion. Under his fury, the pavilion master of Tianxin Pavilion couldn't care about anything, so he cursed directly, but he really forced Jiang Yizhou and others out. Get out! Jiang Yizhou waved his hand and instantly blocked all the space around Long Chen. After the blockade, 4 people held flame chains and rushed towards Long Chen and Emo Nian from 4 directions. Fire God Temple, have you really considered the consequences of doing this? Xing Wujiang shouted coldly in the face of Fire God Temple's shot. You should take good care of yourself. Why don't you know how to live yourself? Do you still have the heart to pity others? Jiang Yizhou shook his head and said, well, if that's the case, then it's my fault. Xing Wujiang stretched out his big hand, and the big Zijin seal appeared in his hand. When the big Zijin seal appeared, Gao Jianli and others showed a sneer on their faces, because at this time, the big Zijin seal was like a waste and could not control Fang Tianyin at all. Boom! However, a scene that shocked everyone appeared. Endless runes were intertwined on the ground, like waves gathered together, forming a beam of light, from bottom to top, went straight to the 4 gods of fire. Not good. When he saw this scene, Jiang Yizhou's face changed greatly, and the sarcasm on Gao Jianli and the others' faces disappeared, replaced by a shock. Chapter 4873. It's Fanggen, hurry up! Jiang Yizhou was shocked and angry, screaming wildly. It's a pity that it was still too late. The heavenly saint powerhouses of the 4 fire temples were swallowed by the beam of light in an instant, and it was too late to react. Puff! The 4 heavenly sage powerhouses in the Fire God Temple were unable to withstand the impact of the beam of light at all, and instantly turned into blood mist, and the divine weapons in their hands also turned into powder. At that moment, even Long Chen and Emo Nian were taken aback. Although they all knew that Fang Tianyin was a super terrifying weapon, they didn't expect it to be so strong. Those were 4 terrifying heavenly sages. In front of Fang Tianyin's power, they didn't even have a chance to resist, and they were instantly killed. Damn, it's a pity, the power of those 4 guys was swallowed by it. In the depths of Long Chen's soul, the curse of the dragon bone evil moon sounded. Obviously, the Keel evil moon is a little greedy, and it is also eager to obtain such power, and it is of course a little unhappy watching others eat a big meal. However, the words of the Keel evil moon made Long Chen's heart sink. If what the Keel evil moon said is true, it means that Fang Tianyin has been deeply involved in the devil, and it is difficult to be pulled back. You must know that Fang Tianyin was the god of luck of the Xing family. The Xing family was the head of the 4 great generals of Daxia. At that time, there were 4 major tribes under the Xing family, which were the predecessors of the 4 city guards. Fang Tianyin is the divine weapon of luck that they jointly support. Such a divine weapon relies on the power of faith to improve himself. Now Fang Tianyin has taken the initiative to absorb the power of the 4 heavenly saints, and he is so blatant. This shows that Fang Tianyin has no fear. You idiots, didn't he say that he couldn't activate Fang Tianyin with you here? Jiang Yizhou roared as he saw the 4 powerhouses being killed. Gao Jianli and others were also stunned. They didn't know what the problem was. They had to secretly communicate with Fang Tianyin a long time ago, depriving Xing Wujiang of the power of the main seal, but now Fang Tianyin suddenly changed his mind. Buzz, after the beam of light devoured the 4, the beam of light rose into the sky, and the remaining momentum continued to spread rapidly around. Run away. Seeing this, Jiang Yizhou roared, turned and ran, but to his horror, he was locked by Fang Tianyin. Damn Xing Wujiang, are you going to declare war on the Great Fire Temple? Jiang Yizhou yelled angrily. I can't help the 4 of them, can I help you? Don't you want Long Chen's life? Then I will kill you first today. Xing Wujiang sneered, and the purple gold seal in his hand trembled violently. Buzz, the entire demon city trembled, beams of light shot out from the ground, and a huge net was intertwined in the void, covering Jiang Yizhou and others. You wait for me. Jiang Yizhou was furious, and suddenly his hands formed seals, and a simple golden pill furnace appeared. As soon as the pill furnace appeared, the vast divine brilliance stirred up, covering all the powerhouses in the fire temple. Night Furnace, when he saw the pill furnace, Long Chen's heart froze. Now not only the Brahma God map has appeared, but also the Tianai furnace. It's just that this Tianai furnace is not a real furnace, but an illusion. It should be a projection, but the coercion of a projection alone is enough to crush the law of 10,000 Dao. Boom! Jiang Yizhou led the crowd and rushed out against the Tianai furnace. The light net intertwined between the sky and the earth was instantly pierced, and when the night furnace hit the barrier that night, Jiang Yizhou and others spurted blood and were bounced back. The radiance of the sky and the night, come. The expressions of Jiang Yizhou and the others changed greatly, and suddenly Jiang Yizhou's hands formed a seal. Buzz, the sky and night furnace above their heads glowed rapidly, and the vast divine might erupted like a volcano, slamming into the barrier. Boom! With a loud bang, the furnace burst into pieces that night, and Jiang Yizhou and the others spurted blood. However, after this blow, a hole was knocked out by them in the void. You wait to meet the wrath of the fire temple. Jiang Yizhou led his people out of the barrier, and his figure disappeared in a flash, and his roar echoed throughout the demon city. Buzz, Jiang Yizhou and the others had just disappeared, and the barrier of demon city was closed. If they slowed down a little, they would never be able to leave. Che, do you still think him the former Xing Wujiang? Now I don't have any worries anymore. It'll come when I have a seed. Who is afraid of who? Facing Jiang Yizhou's threat, Xing Wujiang responded with a look of ridicule. Seeing Jiang Yizhou flee, Gao Jianli and the others looked extremely ugly. They held weapons and surrounded Xing Wujiang, and for a while they didn't know what to do. Seeing that the 4 city guards were frozen like a fool, Emonian couldn't help but said, "Put away your fire sticks. If it wasn't for the affection of the ancestors, you would have been beaten to pieces by my elder brother. I really don't understand how the heroes who followed the Xing family back then could have unworthy descendants like you." Emonian is right. The reason why Xing Wujiang didn't kill them is because of the Xing family's ancestral training. Back then, the Xing family was able to achieve its former glory, and it was all thanks to the full support of the 4 major tribes. The Xing family has always regarded the 4 major tribes as relatives and told future generations to be kind to the 4 major tribes. Therefore, as long as the 4 major tribes did not kill the Xing family, Xing Wujiang would not be able to kill them, and as long as they did not do it, Xing Wujiang would not be able to do it. Therefore, Emonian couldn't help but speak, interrupting the uncomfortable stalemate. The faces of the 4 city guards were extremely ugly. They really didn't understand, how could the plan that was so foolproof failed miserably? What puzzled them the most was what exactly did Xing Wujiang do to allow Fang Tianyin to help him like this? Before they figured out this matter, they would never dare to fight Xing Wujiang recklessly. However, no matter what, Xing Wujiang completely angered the Fire God Temple, which was a great thing for them. Xing Wujiang, you defend Longchen, kill people indiscriminately, any disasters in the City of Demon demonstration in the future are all thanks to you today. Gao Jianli said coldly, this guy is smarter than Chao Guofeng, and directly put all the blame on the body of Xing Wujiang. Facing Gao Jianli's accusation, Xing Wujiang just smiled lightly and said, are you finished? If you're finished, get out. Gao Jianli snorted coldly, and with a flick of his figure, he disappeared like that. Seeing this, the others also left one after another. Only Chao Guofeng gritted his teeth. He also wanted to leave, but he was unwilling. Are you trying to collect the corpse for your son? Otherwise, if you sweep the ground, you might be able to get some debris. Going back for a burial is a good idea. After all, something is better than nothing. Mo Nian looked at Chao Guofeng, deliberately provoking him. Chao Guofeng gritted his teeth, his eyes almost bursting with fire. The reason why he refused to leave was because he couldn't accept that his youngest son died like this. Wait, it'll make you regret coming into this world. Chao Guofeng's voice came out of the gap between his teeth. After speaking, he also disappeared. Chao Guofeng left. Xing Wujiang nodded to Long Chen and Mo Nian, indicating that they were all done, and disappeared. Hey, everyone, don't rush to close the stall, I still have a lot of things to buy. Come and do business. Mo Nian screamed when he saw that many stalls were gone. Chapter 4874. Although Mo Nian shouted, those who had already closed the stall did not reopen the stall because of his shouting. On the contrary, those who were too late to close their stalls also began to slowly clear their stalls. They were all frightened just now. The city of Fumo is already in civil strife, and they don't want to suffer the disaster of Chiyu. Fang Tianyin has sealed the city once before. Especially Xing Wujiang killed the people in the Fire Temple, which is equivalent to causing a catastrophic disaster. The Fire Temple will never allow anyone to provoke them like this, and they will definitely come back for revenge. They have to leave the Demon City before the Fire God Temple returns. Today's Demon City is no longer a safe place, and there is a danger of overturning at any time. When Mo Nian saw this, he started to speed up and made a lot of purchases. Those stall owners saw that Mo Nian had friendship with the city owner. Because they were anxious to close the stall, they did not play with Mo Nian and directly gave him the most realistic price. In this way, everyone also saved time haggling. Finally, before the market dispersed, Mo Nian finally purchased all the things he wanted. At this time, not only the powerhouses in the market had dispersed, but even the powerhouses in the city began to evacuate. The Yuling clan also saw that something was wrong. The clan had already started to pack up their belongings, and Yutong Yufei was also called back. Long Chen and Mo Nian returned directly to the city lord's mansion. Mo Nian began to count the purchase list and began to get busy. It seemed that he was going to make some strange things. Long Chen didn't bother Mo Nian. He found a secluded place and took the stone out. Looking at the stone, Long Chen couldn't help but feel emotional. This time, you are lucky. It is a very good thing for you. Qian Kunding's voice came. Senior, do you know the origin of this thing? Long Chen asked. This is the corpse of a stone spirit. Qian Kunding said. Shiling's body? Long Chen was shocked. This is a powerful stone spirit. It was turned into a body by a master of the 9-star lineage, but the most essential part was retained, and the power of that palm was also sealed. Qian Kunding said. Long Chen suddenly realized, no wonder he sensed the power of the stars. What he sensed was the power of the sealed stars, not the power of the stars that the old man faked and disguised with the formation method. Senior, what was this Shiling's cultivation base? Long Chen couldn't help saying. You touch the stone carefully and use your blood to sense it. Qian Kunding did not answer directly. When Long Chen heard the words, he calmed down and slowly touched the stone with his hands. The strange thing is that when Long Chen's perception was improved to the extreme, he felt 3 breaths circulating in the stone. What is that? Long Chen said in surprise. That thing, some people call it Tianmai, some people call it Dragon Qi, and there are many strange names, but these 2 are the most common. Do you know why Xing Wujiang can conquer the demon city alone? Even if there is no Fang Tianin, he is not afraid of any heavenly saint powerhouse? Qian Kuan-ding said. Big brother Wujiang said that he touched the door. Long Chen said, yes, he has cultivated half of the heavenly veins and has dragon energy to protect his body. Therefore, he does not pay attention to any heavenly sage strong. Qian Kuan-ding said. Long Chen's heart was trembling. No wonder Xing Wujiang was so tyrannical and Fang Tianin was so terrifying. He had the confidence to perish with him. The half-heavenly dragon energy of emotion was his biggest reliance. Wait, what do you mean? Long Chen suddenly opened his mouth, he thought of something and he looked at the stone in his hand in disbelief. However, Qian Kuan-ding no longer had a voice and no longer answered any questions from Long Chen, but although he did not answer, it was no different from answering. Long Chen had already guessed it, but he still couldn't believe it. Qian Kuan-ding mentioned the dragon energy of the sky, and he had sensed 3 auras circulating on the stone before, and Qian Kuan-ding's hint was obvious. Suddenly, Long Chen thought that when the Patriarch Yulua sent Long Chen to the Nebula Arena, when he encountered Chao Guofeng blocking the way, Chao Guofeng asked the Patriarch Yulua to retreat for thousands of years. The realm. However, Long Chen is still a little unbelievable. This Shiling has actually cultivated 3 heavenly meridians, and Xing Wujiang has cultivated half of the heavenly meridians, and he can already surpass the heavenly sage. So how terrifying the Shiling was when he was alive. 1 palm will directly kill the strong stone spirit who has cultivated 3 heavenly veins, so how strong is this 9-star descendant? Long Chen couldn't help but stunned. Thinking about the scene at that time, Long Chen's scalp was numb. However, the Shiling family has always been kind, so how could they have a grudge against the descendants of 9 stars? Long Chen was a little puzzled. No matter how much he is, just try it and you will know. Long Chen glanced at Mo Nian in the distance and said, Brother, I want to communicate with this stone, you help me protect it. After Long Chen finished speaking, without waiting for Mo Nian to agree, his big hand slowly pressed towards the handprint. When Long Chen's hand and the handprint fit together. Buzz, the world in front of Long Chen suddenly changed. At this moment, he was on the top of a high mountain, surrounded by flames and lava, and countless huge figures were rushing towards Long Chen frantically. Roar! Suddenly, a roar came from behind, shaking Long Chen's soul to shatter. Long Chen was stunned, turned his head and looked. A stone giant with a black body and a height of over 100 feet had rushed in front of him. There were 3 giant dragons entwined on the stone giant. As soon as it appeared, the heavens and the earth were twisted, and the 10,000 taos were torn apart. Its eyes widened, and the evil aura suppressed the heavens. Buzz, the giant stone rushed in front of Long Chen and punched Long Chen with a punch. When the giant stone raised his fist, Long Chen was in severe pain. His soul was torn apart, but he couldn't move. Oops, Long Chen was terrified. Although he was in an illusion, this blow had the power of causality to penetrate time and space, which could kill him across time and space. Long Chen wanted to struggle to exit the illusion, but he couldn't move at all, and even the power of his soul was frozen, and he could only watch the punch blow him up. Suddenly, a big hand appeared out of thin air, and the big hand was covered with stars. In the palm of his hand, a star ring appeared. The star ring was composed of 8 stars and slapped heavily on Shiling's fist. Snapped, the big handful of stars blocked Shiling's giant fist, and then a cold voice came, "The fate of a traitor is death." Boom! Suddenly, a series of strange symbols appeared on the big hand. When the symbol was seen, it affected hundreds of millions of stars and gradually formed a 10. Xinghan Cross Destroyer. The cold voice was domineering, and the big hand pressed down violently. Boom! With a loud bang, the big hand shattered Shiling's fist and slapped it on its chest. Puff! The sturdy body of Shiling burst open and turned into powder under the palm of his hand, leaving only a stone with a handprint. The stone was always in front of Long Chen, and the surrounding pictures and roars disappeared. Puff! The stone fell off Long Chen's hand, and Long Chen found out that he had sweated through his heavy clothes at this time, and there was no strength in his body, and he was about to collapse. How about it? Just when Long Chen was crumbling, Emo Nien reached out and supported Long Chen. Hey, I have gained a lot. Long Chen was a little excited. Your comprehension is only a few hours. Time is running out. Big Brother is waiting for us outside. Emo Nien didn't have time to inquire about what Long Chen had gained, so he took Long Chen and hurried out. Chapter 4875. How many hours? Long Chen was startled. He felt that it was just a moment. How could it have been a few hours? When Long Chen and Emo Nien walked out of the retreat, a golden chariot had been prepared for a long time. Xing Wujiang was standing next to the chariot. Except for Xing Wujiang, there was no one around. It turned out that there was a huge city lord's mansion, and it was very lively, but now, all these people have disappeared. Long Chen and Emo Nien did not notice these details. The two came in a hurry, and Emo Nien said apologetically, "Brother Wujiang, sorry for making you wait for a long time." "Long Chen, are you all right?" Xing Wujiang couldn't help but startled when he saw that Long Chen's face was as pale as paper, and the whole person seemed to be fished out of the water. "Big Brother Wujiang, I'm fine." Long Chen hurriedly said, because he peeped at the picture, he drained all his strength in an instant. But this kind of deficit is not a Dao injury, but an excessive consumption. As long as you take a rest, you can quickly recover. Long Chen has already eaten the medicine pill, and his strength is recovering quickly. Xing Wujiang said, "Then get in the car, get back in the car as soon as possible, in order to wait for you. The time for Tianmu Mountain to open has passed." "What?" Long Chen and Emo Nien were startled. "It doesn't matter, I have let Fang Tianin continue to delay the time. If you don't arrive, Tianmu Mountain will not open." Xing Wujiang said. Originally, the best opening time for Tianmu Mountain is Chinshi. However, because of Long Chen, Xing Wujiang, the master of the main seal, has a way to control the time. However, no matter how long it is, it cannot exceed noon, otherwise it will be forced to open. It will consume a lot of Fang Tianyin source power. Tianmu Mountain is not open casually. Even with Fang Tianyin's powerful power, it needs to be warmed up in advance and communicated with the laws of Tianmu Mountain. After the two forces are integrated, an accurate opening time will appear. If the best opening time has passed, then Fang Tianin will likely need decades to recover his strength before he can open Tianmu Mountain again. Hearing this, Emo Nien and Guoran hurriedly jumped into the chariot with Xing Wujiang. The chariot slowly vacated the air and flew out directly from the city lord's mansion. From the chariot, you can see the whole picture of the city of Fumo, but what surprised Long Chen and Emo Nien is that the city of Fumo is dead silent. Except for the continuous buildings, not even a ghost can be seen. Is it still the prosperous city of demons in the past? When Tianmu Mountain is opened, Fang Tianin will be weakened due to the consumption of huge source power. Therefore, many people are worried that there will be a war, and they all withdraw. Xing Wujiang explained. "Has the Yuling clan also left?" Long Chen hurriedly asked. The Yuling clan was what he cared about most. Well, they were the first to leave, and the entire holy mountain was moved away. Xing Wujiang said. Hearing that the Yuling clan had all moved out, Long Chen and Emo Nien suddenly felt relieved. Long Chen suddenly looked at Xing Wujiang, pointed his finger downwards, and nodded intentionally or unintentionally. Xing Wujiang did not speak, but turned his head to look into the distance and said, "In a while, I will use the power of Fang Tianin to send us out. At that moment, we will be under tremendous pressure, so be prepared." "It is good," Long Chen and Emo Nien nodded at the same time. Long Chen and Emo Nien glanced at each other, and they understood that they can't talk nonsense now, because when they left the city lord's mansion, everything about them was within Fang Tianyin's surveillance range. Any suspicious actions might arouse Fang Tianyin's vigilance. Buzz, sure enough, when the chariot flew out of the demon city a certain distance, The demon city trembled for a while, and a golden light shot out to penetrate the void, and the golden chariot was sent into the space channel. The golden chariot trembled violently and was sent into the passage by the divine light, and at the moment when the passage was closed, Long Chen's pupils could not help shrinking. Because he saw the huge head under the demon city tremble. At that moment, Long Chen couldn't help sighing in his heart. Today's demon city has become an empty city, and even Xing Wujiang has been sent away. Today, it can do whatever it wants, and no one knows what it does now. Perhaps, the reason why it is so obedient is because of this purpose. Long Chen quietly looked at Xing Wujiang, only to see Xing Wujiang's face was calm, without the slightest wave, and even smiled at Long Chen, signaling Long Chen to rest assured. Long Chen and Emo Nian were a little sad in their hearts. Regardless of whether Emo Nian could successfully take away the demon corpse, Fang Tianyin, who had already been completely enchanted, might never be able to return to the past. The magical soldiers who had been supported by the ancestors of the Xing family for generations had betrayed like this. This kind of loss was unacceptable to anyone. It's a pity if Fang Tianyin can wait for me for a while longer. At this time, the sigh of the dragon bone evil moon came from the depths of Long Chen's soul. What? Long Chen asked. Wait for a while, let me be stronger, and when I digest the power of the Emperor's blood silk mesh, I can swallow it. Qi Shiyue said. After you swallow the Emperor's blood silk net, you can swallow Fang Tianyin? Long Chen couldn't help being surprised. According to this statement, isn't the Emperor's blood silk net a treasure on the same level as Fang Tianyin? If it is in its strongest state, it may not work, but it is now half dead, and it is not difficult to swallow it. Long Chen, you all work hard to take down the corpse and prevent it from merging. When I am stronger, give me a feast. The Keel Evil Moon said. You don't need to say this. This guy Emo Nian is determined to win the corpse, not for anything else. Even for Big Brother Wujiang, we must go all out. Long Chen said. Hey, I'm really anxious to death. My body is a mess, but I just can't use the strength. I feel like going crazy. Qi Shiyue said angrily. At the beginning, it devoured the endless dragon soul before it took control of this body. As the owner of this body, it knew how terrifying this divine weapon was. However, its own power is too weak to drive this magic weapon at all. Every time it relies on the power of Long Chen, it feels like a waste, and it can't help with anything. It is also decadent, which makes the proud it extremely sad. Don't worry. I believe that it won't be long before the name of your Keel Evil Moon will resound in 9 days and 10 places. Long Chen can understand the mood of the Keel Evil Moon. But the road has to be taken step by step, and the meal has to be eaten one bite at a time. Some things cannot be rushed. The more urgent it is, the easier it is to have problems. Buzz, suddenly the void trembled, and the golden chariot burst out of the sky. The world in front of me was a mountain range shrouded in a black sky. Even in the chariot, I could still feel the rotten aura coming towards my face. There was a smell of death everywhere. Tianmishan, I'm here again. Seeing this continuous mountain range, Emo Nian smiled, his eyes full of excitement. Chapter 4876. The black sky shrouded the continuous mountains, and the place where the vision could be seen was hazy, and there was only endless darkness ahead. Facing the endless darkness, people have the most primitive fear in their hearts, as if in the endless darkness, there is a bloodthirsty madman watching him silently. This is Tianmu Mountain, a place where the sun will never see the light of day, a cemetery where the years are buried, a place where the sky will fall, and the dawn will never usher in. This is a forbidden place, and no one will want to approach it. The black sky is the cursed barrier. Even the heavenly sages dare not approach it. Once it is contaminated, it will cause great trouble. But today, there is already a sea of people here, and countless young Tianjiao gather here, quietly waiting for the opening of Tianmu Mountain. Tianmu Mountain was buried for an era. It used to be a battlefield. Among the mountains, I don't know how many strong people were buried. Under the thick soil, I don't know how many divine soldiers were hidden. This is a peerless and fierce place, and it is also a treasure-hunting place. Every day when Tianmu Mountain opens, countless adventurers will come to challenge. If it was before, adventurers who came to challenge would pay a certain fee to Fumo City to buy a place to enter Tianmu Mountain. Some loose cultivators, or cultivators from poor families, if they don't have the money to buy a place, they can work for the Demon City in advance, or exchange it for a place with demon crystals. But this time, the opening of Tianmu Mountain was extremely sudden, and Fumo City did not charge any forces, nor did it prevent anyone from entering Tianmu Mountain. Originally, 10 years before Tianmu Mountain opened, Demon City would start various registration methods, and the 4 city guards would be responsible for statistics. As a result, this year's Tianmu Mountain was opened, and the number of participants was 100 times that of previous sessions. Countless geniuses, all under the leadership of their own elders, occupy favorable terrain. When the Curtain Mountain opens, their elders will send them in as soon as possible. When the golden chariot that marked the identity of the city lord appeared, the strong men who had been waiting impatiently all looked towards this side. Xing Wujiang, what are you doing? The time for Tianmu Mountain to open has passed, and you are only here now. As soon as the golden chariot appeared, Chao Guofeng was the first to stand up and shout angrily. At this time, Chao Guofeng was not standing at the front of the team, but was standing behind an old man in fancy clothes and carrying a long sword. On the old man's clothes, flames were circulating, rhythmically as if alive, there were flame totems looming in his eyes, and flame runes were faintly visible around him. He stood there as if standing out from the crowd. The breath of one person could make the whole world tremble. You shut up, you haven't been slapped in the mouth for a few days, and your face is itchy again, right? Long Chen walked out of the golden chariot and sneered coldly. Chao Guofeng was so angry that he was about to scold him, but he was stopped by the old man who was carrying the long sword. When Long Chen looked at the old man, his heart skipped a beat. Although the old man did not reveal his breath, how keen was Long Chen's intuition? This person is definitely a terrifying existence, and he should be on the same level as Xing Wujiang. Long Chen glanced behind the old man, and immediately saw Jiang Yizhou and others. At that moment, Long Chen understood that Jiang Yizhou went back to rescue soldiers. It seems that this person's status in the fire temple is not low. The old man looked at Long Chen and said, Long Chen, I think you are a generation of arrogance, and it is not easy to cultivate. If you are willing to surrender to my fire temple, I will accept you as a disciple as the deputy head of the fire temple. You and the fire temple will accept you as a disciple. The grievances are also, Long Chen suddenly burst into laughter, as if he heard the funniest joke in the world and couldn't help it at all. Even Mo Nian laughed. He pointed at the old man and said, he is the youngest branch dean of the #1 academy in the world. You actually let him submit to your fire god temple and worship you as a teacher. You really know how. Put gold on your face. Lord Deputy Hallmaster, I have said that this person is very arrogant and does not understand your love for talent. Such people should be eliminated as soon as possible to avoid future troubles. Seeing this, Chao Guofeng couldn't help but go up front. The old man is the deputy hall master of the fire temple, with terrifying strength and a very high status, but he did not expect to be ridiculed by Long Chen in public, and murderous intentions gradually emerged in his eyes. Lord Deputy Hall Master, leave this person's life to me. At this moment, a figure suddenly came out from the powerful people in the fire temple. Unexpectedly, the one who came out was a woman with a beautiful face in a red dress. However, the corners of the woman's eyes were raised and her eyes were dark, which destroyed her image and gave people a sense of arrogance and negativity. A good feeling to get along with. Obedient. When he saw the woman in the red dress, Mo Nian couldn't help exclaiming. This woman's aura was fierce, as if there was a beast dormant in her body. What surprised Mo Nian most was that she was also a destiny, but her destiny power was different from all the destiny powerhouses he had seen. The power of other people's destiny appears in the form of gas, forming a mist all over the body, and it is continuous. But this woman's power of destiny is different. Her strength of destiny is frighteningly condensed, like a water curtain, circulating around her body, and you can even faintly see the destiny rune worshipping her, even though Emo Nyen has seen countless arrogances, cannot help but exclaimed. Today is an eye-opener, and I actually saw the son of destiny. Emo Nyen stared at the two big eyes, opened his mouth, and kept looking at the woman up and down, as if he wanted to see her completely. It's so rude, believe it or not, this girl will goog out your eyeballs. Seeing Emo Nyen looking at her recklessly, the woman in red was furious. Seeing that the woman was so fierce, Emo Nyen turned to look at Long Chen and whispered, "Ill go, this girl doesn't look like a good person. Brother, she gave it to you, I think you can take it she." Although it was a low voice, the voice was enough for everyone in the audience to hear it. The woman in red was not deaf, so she could hear it clearly. She was about to kill her with murderous aura, but was caught by the deputy of the fire temple. The Lord held it. "Qianwu, don't be impatient, you are so hot and hot, why bother with a person in the market, so as not to lose your identity?" The head of the fire god temple said. "People from the market? Lao Tzu is a great archaeologist." Emo Nyen was furious. "Huh?" When Long Chen heard these 4 words, he remembered the way Emo Nyen had his mouth wide open and his eyes swept across the woman in red. He suddenly felt that these 4 words were the finishing touch, and wanted to laugh inexplicably. The master of the fire god temple ignored the two, but looked at Xing Wujiang Dao behind them. "The person who killed my fire temple, do you want to give me an explanation?" Chapter 4877, Explain. Xing Wujiang looked at the deputy hall master of the fire temple with a sneer on his face. "You fire temple, secretly supporting the 4 city guards, fighting against my Xing family, secretly killing my Xing family disciple. Even if you want to explain, it should be me, I want it from you." Xing Wujiang stood in front of the golden chariot and looked down at the deputy hall master of the fire temple. Even when facing the aloof fire temple, his aura was not suppressed in the slightest. In fact, both the fire god temple and the Brahma Pill Valley silently supported them behind the 4 city guards, encouraging them to fight against the Xing family. Although Xing Wujiang saw it in his eyes, because the fire temple was too strong, he couldn't fight it at all, so he had to swallow it. But it is different now. At this time, Xing Wujiang no longer has any concerns. Even in the face of the deputy hall master of the fire god temple, he did not flinch at all. "Speak with evidence." Facing Xing Wujiang's question, the deputy hall master of the fire temple said coldly, "Hurry up and pull it down, stop playing that kind of routine game. If you want to do something, just draw the line directly, it's boring to beat around the bush." Emo Nyen said impatiently. In fact, whether it is Emo Nyen or Long Chen, they both hate this kind of nutritious routine. Even though they have done all the bad things, they still have to look like a victim, which is disgusting. There is no justice in this world. The so-called civilization is just putting a cloth on the face when doing bad things. In fact, everyone knows who did it. When bad people do bad things, they have to find a high-sounding excuse for themselves, and then use the role of justice to eradicate the darkness. For countless years, Long Chen and Emo Nyen have had enough of this trick. Sometimes, they prefer to deal with ferocious demons, because many people are more evil and insidious than demons. Long Chen said indifferently, "Do you understand? If you don't understand, I will make another supplement for you." What he means is, if you have something to say, hurry up and let go. Emo Nyen also added a sentence, "Hurry up and let go." The cooperation between Long Chen and Emo Nyen was so seamless that they did not give the deputy hall master of the fire temple a chance to plug in. At that moment, all the powerhouses in the fire temple suddenly surged with murderous intent. The two humiliated their deputy hall master so unscrupulously, but they did not take them seriously. This kind of humiliation has never been experienced in their lives. The countless powerhouses around also stared at the two of them in stunned eyes. You must know that the people in Demon City here only occupy a small part, and most of them don't know Long Chen and Emo Nyen. Now, the two of them, singing together and harmonizing, will satirize the world-famous deputy hall master of the fire temple, and they are all stunned. The woman who was called Qian Wu was trembling with anger and was about to make a move, but was stopped by the deputy hall master of the fire god temple. He looked at Emo Nian lightly and said, "Who is your excellency?" Emo Nian smiled slightly, took a step forward, took a deep breath, and squinted his eyes in the air. Seeing this posture, Long Chen rolled his eyes and came again. Sure enough, Emo Nian's face was full of arrogance. He waved his hand across the sky and shouted loudly, "In front of Boundless Mountain, Boundless Palace, outside Boundless Gate, immeasurable pine, Tianjio's pursuit of dreams has no way, and once Emo Nian encounters it, it will become empty. That's right, I am a great scholar who was born for justice, lives for the truth, travels in endless time and space, swims in the long history, pursues the essence of life, and restores the truth of the world, Emo Nian." Emo Nian's long series of prefaces, in a cadenced tones, told the most shameless words. Even Long Chen felt his scalp numb and goosebumps arose, and he couldn't help but fight a cold war. Although Guoran is also quite saucy, but compared with this saucy bag, he really answered a sentence, not the most saucy, only more saucy. The strong people present, without exception, all open their mouths to look at Emo Nian. Those who can come here are either young geniuses with amazing talent or powerful elders and sect masters. But whether it is a young man or an older generation of powerhouses, they have never heard such arrogant rants. Especially these rants are aimed at the deputy hall master of the fire temple. To be able to say such words, I am afraid that it requires more than just be brave. The powerhouses present were either stunned, contemptuous, or just like the group of powerhouses in the fire temple, with disdain and anger on their faces, but the lord of the fire temple was as calm as water. I have to say, this fire god temple's master is still very forgiving. He shook his head and said, "Immeasurable palace? Never heard of it, Emo Nian? Never heard of it, and Long Chen, the most famous Lingshao Academy in history. Compared to the young dean, your light is like a firefly." Ha! Long Chen and Emo Nian were amused by the words of the deputy hall master of the fire temple at the same time. Emo Nian finally couldn't hold back his smile and said, "Looking at you, you are not too old, but you are still using such a childish trick to divide our brothers? Time, you should go to the fire god temple to apply for a job and see if you can apply for the position of palace master." Although this kind of alienation scheme is a bit naive, it is often extremely fatal to some geniuses, especially those who are arrogant. It will plant an evil seed that will take root and sprout in the depths of people's hearts. But whether it is for Long Chen or Emo Nian, this kind of evil seed, in their hearts, has no living soil. Although they have envy, jealousy, and smear each other, but this does not affect the brotherhood between them at all. So when they heard the words of the deputy hall master of the fire temple, the two laughed until tears came out. In the face of Emo Nian and Long Chen's laughter, I have to say that the self-control of the deputy hall master of the fire temple is too strong, and he still looks authentic. Just tell the truth, you have never heard of your name. You haven't heard of my name, so we'll ask the friends at the scene, does anyone know me, Emo Nian? Emo Nian looked around and shouted loudly. For a time, countless people looked to their left and right, and suddenly someone noticed that when Emo Nian asked everyone, someone's face became extremely strange. What kind of bullshit are you? Who wants to know you? Hurry up and die. After everyone was silent for a while, someone yelled. However, it can be seen from his excited tone and the look of biting people that he should know Emo Nian, but he just doesn't want to admit it. In fact, many people here know Emo Nian, because Emo Nian visited the place where their ancestors slept. However, if they knew Emo Nian, it would be equivalent to telling everyone the embarrassment of their own family, so everyone reluctance to mention this. Boom! Suddenly, the space behind Xing Wujiang was distorted in a large area, forming a door of space. The door of space slowly opened, and people saw an ancient city from the door of space, and that ancient city was the city of demons. Brother, get ready, Fang Tianin is going to open Tianmu Mountain. Xing Wujiang said to Long Chen and Emo Nian, and at the same time his big hand was already on the back of the two. Boom! Suddenly, a beam of light shot out from Demon City, passed through the gate of the void, and slammed into the barrier of Tianmu Mountain. With a loud explosion, the barrier of Tianmu Mountain was forcibly penetrated by the beam of light. "It's now," Xing Wujiang slammed with his big hand. Long Chen and Emon Yen rushed towards the big hole in the sky barrier like arrows from the string. Chapter 4878. Long Chen and Emon Yen felt a terrifying pressure and pushed them forward. At that moment, the blood of the two people was surging, and they almost spat out a mouthful of blood. The strong resistance almost crushed them, and the barrier of Tianmu Mountain collapsed with a huge opening, which was the gateway to Tianmu Mountain. Because the portal has not yet been fully formed, the remnants of the talisman after the collapse of the sky still have terrifying resistance, and Long Chen and Emon Yen marched forward against the violent resistance. Xing Wujiang has already calculated the time. He wants to send Long Chen and Emon Yen to Tianmu Mountain as soon as possible, especially Emon Yen. He needs to rush to the location of the demon corpse as soon as possible. Xing Wujiang moved extremely fast, but the deputy hall master of the fire god temple was not slow, and he sent Qian Wu in immediately, but after all, it was a little slower than Long Chen and Emon Yen. Let's not talk about whether the deputy hall master of the fire god temple is stronger than Xing Wujiang, but in terms of experience in opening Tianmu Mountain, he is a bit worse than Xing Wujiang. However, what Xing Wujiang did not expect was that at the moment Qian Wu moved, 4 figures rushed out like lightning, and they followed Qian Wu. When seeing the 4 figures, not only Xing Wujiang, but also the deputy hall master of the fire temple was taken aback. You must know that they dared to send people directly into the passage at the moment when the sky was broken. The existence of the level is fine, otherwise it is not a gift, but a head. Only their strength can offset the pressure of the shards of the sky. That is to say, among the crowd here, there are actually 4 beings of the same level as them. Buzz, Qian Wu's whole body rose with flames and transformed into wings that covered the sky. She was not afraid of the pressure of the fragments of the sky, and on the basis of the power of the deputy hall master of the fire temple, she accelerated again and chased after her. "Too goddamn trash. Kind of have a fight with me, Qian Wu." Until this time, Long Chen didn't know that the woman named Qian Wu was surnamed Hua. However, the woman's words were a bit vicious. One sentence made the two of them both angry and funny. Emon Yen couldn't help but respond, "Are you an idiot? We all have the upper hand, and we are still here to fight with you? Are you sure you are not pretending to be big shit?" Emon Yen didn't have the habit of accustomed to others. No matter whether the other party was a man or a woman, he scolded him directly. "Don't dare to fight, and dare to speak madly. You have disgraced all the faces of men in this world." Qian Wu chased after her. Her words did not stop at all. "Your father is also a man, and we are also men. How can you say that your father is the same kind?" Emon Yen replied without hesitation. Emon Yen's words immediately made Long Chen stunned. This guy's brain circuit is really unusual, and the reaction speed is too fast. Emon Yen's words almost choked Qian Wu to death. She couldn't find anything to refute for a while, so she gritted her teeth in anger, seeing that she was about to enter the end of the passage. Buzz, with a wave of Qian Wu's palm, a long flame whip shot out, heading straight for Long Chen and Emon Yen. As soon as the flame whip came out, the entire passage trembled. Long Chen and Emon Yen felt a burst of heart palpitations, and the passage showed signs of closing. Obviously, Qian Wu didn't know what power he used to compress the passage. If they didn't want to die, they had to fight back. "This bitch is crazy, I'm going to kill her." Emon Yen was furious. He was provoked by this woman several times, and Emon Yen's anger suddenly came up. This woman was simply shameless. "You still have business, leave this mad woman to me." Long Chen shook his head. Emon Yen's goal was the demon corpse, which was related to Xing Wujiang's life, and this matter could not be sloppy. Buying Emon Yen a little more time will give Emon Yen a chance to succeed. Seeing that the flame whip is behind him, Long Chen grabs the whip with his left hand and pushes his right hand towards Emon Yen's back at the same time. Boom! With a loud bang, Long Chen's whole body glowed, and Emon Yen was sent out like a meteor. Long Chen used the power of Hua Qianwu to directly send Emon Yen into Tianmu Mountain. Originally, Long Chen wanted to ridicule Hua Qianwu after he succeeded, but what shocked him was that the power above the whip made his blood surge, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. The power of this whip was so terrifying. If it wasn't for Emon Yen who shared part of his power for him, he would have been seriously injured. Boom! Long Chen grabbed the big hand of the flame whip and was forcibly bounced away. Long Chen sent Emon Yen in, and his speed suddenly dropped due to the force of the shock, and at this time Hua Qianwu was already in front of him. Long Chen snorted coldly, kicked Hua Qianwu violently, and went straight to Hua Qianwu's face. Generally, Long Chen never uses this kind of humiliating trick to deal with women, but this Hua Qianwu really made Long Chen's face. The anger was hooked up, and the shot was no longer merciful. Seeing Long Chen's move, Hua Qianwu was furious, and the flame whip in his hand spun rapidly, forming a rope loop, which went straight to Long Chen's feet. Shuzi is rude, keep your legs. Hua Qianwu's tricks are as fast as lightning, and the flame whip is even more flexible and changeable. Long Chen's feet were entangled by the flame whip as soon as he got close, and Hua Qianwu stopped drinking. A leg was torn off. However, what she didn't expect was that Long Chen's leg was deliberately entangled with her, and the other leg, a twisted side kick, went straight to her cheek and kicked it fiercely. Snapped, Hua Qianwu reacted very quickly and instinctively blocked her cheek with her palm. As a result, Long Chen's foot was placed on her palm. The power of her palm could not resolve Long Chen's power, and her palm slammed hard. On the face, the whole person's head slammed back. This kick, although not directly on her face, was no different. Hua Qianwu was kicked away. Kakaka! Hua Qianwu was kicked by Long Chen, but she didn't panic. The flame whip in her hand was pulled violently, and there were countless bone spurs on the whip. Even if she was hit, she still had to pull one of Long Chen's legs off. However, the bone spur did not pierce into Long Chen's flesh and blood, but stabbed on the dragon scales, and the bone spur smashed through Long Chen, making a harsh friction sound. When the flame whip passed through Long Chen's leg, Long Chen's thigh covered with dragon scales had been drawn into countless white grooves, and there was faint blood overflowing in the groove. The two exchanged a move. Although Long Chen took a big advantage and kicked Hua Qianwu away, he was full of shock. He looked at the flame whip in Hua Qianwu's hand, and through the raging flames, he saw a long whip made of bones. Bone of the flame dragon. At this time, Long Chen finally recognized the origin of the flame whip. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.